Welcome in on a happy Monday here, the firm of Harrison Meringue. I'm Patrick Harris. That is Danny Meringue to my left. Happy to have you here.
It's going to be a good day, Tater.
You are all kinds of fired up, my friend. It's a good thing. It's a great thing.
It's fun.
You have a glow about you.
I do.
It's almost like you are, it's a glow akin to like, you haven't seen a buddy for like 2 years and he's getting married.
There you go.
And you run into him at the wedding, or you get in town like a couple days before the wedding, and you go out and grab drinks with him. You know, go grab dinner or something like that with your buddy you haven't seen in a while, and he starts talking about his fiance. That's what you look like right now.
Feeling good. Feeling good. It's not just my Trojans. Got to the gym this morning. Had a good little Sunday.
Oh, I was only talking about your Trojans.
Look, man, it's all coming together, man. Sunday's been kind of my recharge day. I get to be around the people I love. You know, it's nice. And then coming off Saturday, handle Iowa. Makai Lemon's the best wide receiver in the country.
Handle is a loose term.
Whoa.
My
Guys didn't need a last-second field goal to win a game. Just saying.
Whose guys did?
I don't know, man. There's some team out there that definitely needed a last-second field goal to walk off a win. Just saying.
I actually have no idea what you're talking about.
Oregon.
Oh.
Yeah.
My Cougs won 28-7. I'm great.
Hey, look at that.
Not my team.
I was to say, lowercase. You want to sit this one out, bud?
Ooh.
I will gladly sit this one.
Woof.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
Roll over and play dead.
I defeated the man this weekend.
Oh.
I stuck it to the man and I won.
How'd you do that?
Well, I'm a YouTube TV subscriber. I got my ESPN back.
We did.
I got my $20 credit. And then all of a sudden comes across my timeline, and I jumped on the website to see if this were true. And I found out that I could pay $58 for Sunday Ticket and the Red Zone for the rest of the year.
Ooh.
Knock off $20 off that. I quad boxed Sunday morning.
Look at that.
For $38.
Love
Take
to see
that, the man. Take that. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. I feel very gratified about this. However, I did buy an antenna that I will now never use, and that cost me $15. So I got Sunday Ticket for $51, $53, something like that.
Nice.
I'll take it. It said it was normally like $220. So I'm stoked. Great NFL weekend. I wonder if I enjoyed the NFL weekend more because I have the package now.
I'm telling you, man. It's just.
But dude, I can't spend $450 on that. There's no way, dude. That is so much money.
I do the payment plan one, so it doesn't hit me as
Like a monthly?
Yeah. It doesn't. To be honest, it doesn't irritate me as much that way. But like, number one, if I do want to watch my Raiders, that's what I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, I don't want to get stuck watching the 49ers. I don't want to get stuck watching the Cowboys. I don't want to get stuck watching a lot. Seahawks and Rams are fine, but I don't want to get stuck watching the Cardinals. Like, the West Coast teams, I don't want to get stuck watching them. I want to watch my team, and then I want to watch other good games and not whatever stupid national game we get on the West Coast. It just seems to happen so much.
Yeah, this was a lucky weekend for you know me. I'm a network guy usually.
Mm-hmm.
This was a great weekend for it because the morning game was Bills Bucks, which was a great game.
Great game, Josh
And
Allen. My goodness.
The afternoon 2 games were Rams Seahawks and Chiefs Broncos. Not great games, but entertaining. And then the night game, also not a great game, but entertaining. Powerhouse teams, people trying to make statements, stuff like that. Nice little weekend.
Nice little weekend.
And I'm just stoked that I stuck it to the man.
It's fun.
It is. How's this week going to go, Danny?
I'm going to be really high until Saturday morning when I'm driving down the Onsen, and that's when the pucker factor is going to hit real hard.
Yeah, we were talking about this before the show, and you are going to hype yourself up to a point that you have now unintentionally gaslit yourself into fear.
Yes, 100%. This is what, to be fair.
You know who's not afraid? People that think they're going to win.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm always, the only time I was never like this was when, we had Reggie, Leinart, Lendale, in that defense. That was the only time I was ever like, good luck to everybody else. Like, you know, the Family Guy skit, the woman cutting across 6 lanes. Good luck, everybody else. That, I mean, because that's what it was. It was good luck, everybody else. It was the best collection of talent in college football history.
Yeah.
So,
except for the 2025 Washington State Cougars, of course. Zevi Eckhouse should be winning a Heisman, but nobody watches West Coast.
To be totally clear, I picked USC to win 8 games this year.
I know. So I know you didn't. You tell me that every day. Like, I doubt you.
Well, no, it's like people are like, oh, you think this? I'm like, no, it's house money now. If they go into Autzen and they win, buddy.
I'm coming down with some.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't make it in on Monday, boss.
Oh yeah, it's tough. But you know, for me, it's gonna be an awesome matchup because you have a team that is much better defensively, and you have a team that's much better offensively. Like
Tail of the tape.
USC hasn't seen a defense like Oregon, and Oregon hasn't seen an offense like USC's, and that's what we're gonna see. Who gets the push?
Yeah. It'll be fun, and we'll spend a lot of time this week kind of going into that and having a little fun. Did you figure out what you were gonna bet, Mr. Dirt Johnson?
We'll figure it out over the next couple of days.
Okay.
I think the face paint's on the line. I tell you what,
he's not giving you points.
I know he got real scared early on. He was okay with it. Now as we got into the season, he's like, "I'm not giving you points." It's like,
He stuck to it. It's a big number.
Yeah, I was a little.
I have an inside birdie in the Duck organization.
Oh yeah,
who told me that line is about right. 9.5.
9.5's a big number.
That's a big number.
It's a big number.
Big number for a ranked game.
For a ranked game with an offense that good.
I'm sad the game is at 12:30. I wish the game was a night game.
I'm glad it's not a night game. I don't want to get home. I don't want to get home at like 1 a.m.
So you're not going to stay. You're going to drive back.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping for like the 1:30 kick. That's what I was hoping for, just a little bit, because I was asking the brand man, because I have been to 8 games at Autzen. And every single time I have gone, it has been either somebody else driving or in like a bus. So I'm like, what's the process here? Like when should I leave? Like, where do I park? Like all those things that kind of come up with like going to that, because I don't ever have to handle that. So, but I'll be down there.
I've only been to 1 game. Well, no, that's not true. I've been to multiple. The last time I was at Autzen was Oregon UW when Dye scored the touchdown in overtime. That is 2019, right? Yeah. And I went down with my boss at the time, and he was nice enough to take me down, and he got free tickets from somebody, he's a big Duck guy, and we went to the game, and then after the game, we were going to drive back, and I looked at him, and he was glossy, and I was like, I got us a hotel, is what he said to me. And I was like, all right, let's go rage. And we went out to the streets of Eugene, and we drank a bunch, and then my phone started blowing up, and I saw a little video from a Reese Davis who said, pack your bags, we're going to Pullman. Because Oregon beating UW made them ranked, I believe, that year, and we were ranked because we had Gardner Minshew. And so game day came to Pullman for the first time ever.
Good old Mike Leach.
It was great. It was wonderful. And we beat him. Who was the quarterback for the Ducks that year?
Was that the Vernon Adams year?
I think it's Vernon Adams.
I think it's
right. Vernon Adams. Yeah, I can't remember. But everybody was so confused why the Coug on the streets of the Ducks was so excited that the Ducks had won. They were like, oh, it's because it's the Huskies. And I was like, no, dude. I got itinerary split out. I've already got the days off of work. Like, we're leaving Friday at like 6 a.m. because we will be in Pullman. Game day is a cool thing.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going down for that. I'm hoping, hey, all of you guys, go down to game day. Clear those roads early for me. I would appreciate that greatly.
That's the toughest part about game day on the West Coast, is it's like it's
You're out
6
there at 6
a.m. and it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks super bad.
But go for it. Also, game day, I know people are all butthurt about it. Game day should be at this game. This is a college football playing game.
Oh, I agree. I did. I got duped. Well, I text you and I text Joe Fisher.
You weren't the only one.
Yeah.
I mean, they said it on a broadcast.
Nigel Burton. Should have never trusted Nigel Burton.
It happens.
He even turned to Jimmy Rogers. He was like, yo, game day going to James Madison. Jimmy Rogers goes, whoa, I didn't know that.
Ah.
Well, if that's true, which is what Jimmy Rogers said, nice call, buddy.
Smart.
Then he went on to coach speak. Oh, if that's true, it'd be a great opportunity for our players and expose our program and how tough we work.
Hey, when you texted me, I was like, really? Like, this is a college football play-in game.
Well, I told you, we talked about it last week, that if this is the matchup that game day should go to it, but there's the talk of, it's already been to Autzen. They haven't been to a G5 school this year.
I'm just saying,
I know a lot of people wanted D2.
they're not going to Autzen
What do they call it?
for Oregon.
What do they call it? The wild match in Montana? I can't remember what they call the rivalry between Montana and Montana State.
Yeah. They did that last year.
I think they did it 2 years ago.
I thought it was last year.
Was it last year?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember.
It could be 2 years ago, but it feels like last year.
But the slate next weekend is really rough.
There's only
So unless you wanted to highlight a G5, which I wouldn't have blamed them for,
No.
and I'm not saying this because James Madison's playing my team, I'm a little scared about it, to be honest. But if you wanted to highlight a G5 team or do a D2 thing, this would have been the week to do it. But because really the only game is Oregon SC.
The rivalry between Montana and Montana State is called the Brawl of the Wild.
Thank you. The Brawl of the Wild. I couldn't remember what that was called.
Simple things.
You think Lanning will keep his shirt on this week with McAfee?
Ooh.
He didn't last time, and they lost.
I know Lincoln Riley will.
He will keep his shirt on.
He will.
Is he secretly jacked?
Not really. He's a skinny guy.
Is he like a flubby dad bod under there, but he's skinny?
I don't think so. I think he's in decent shape, right? But
If you're going to be a coach in LA, you need the McVay route.
yeah, you mean be just
Jacked.
Just
Yeah.
looking like RFK.
Yeah. RFK looks like he's going to have a heart attack every time I see him. His face is all red. He's like, "Argh."
Lincoln Riley jacked on the sideline after that win.
Well, he should be.
Holy.
He should be. I was laughing with you outside. Kirk Ferentz at halftime was like, these boys dead.
Yeah.
We done killed them.
It's the simple things in life.
Oakley dokley. Well, we got a great show for you guys today. A lot to get to. We're a little NFL heavy today for a Monday, which is fun. We'll touch a little bit on college football. Is coming back from a big deficit a good thing? We'll touch in on the Heisman as well. And is the college football playoff essentially set? But a lot of NFL to get to, but we're going to start with the Ducks, who take down Minnesota on Friday night as a preamble to this game coming up. What did we see? What did we like? And then we'll circle back around at noon and kind of give you an early preview of Oregon USC. A lot to get to today. We're happy to have you on this Monday. The Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM. 10:17 here, Portland Sports Leader. Don't you forget it. We are live, baby, from the shadows of the historic Fremont Bridge. 503-864-6326. She's the fan text line. Lets you interact with us throughout the entire day. Happy to have you. Shout out to the YouTube peeps. Thanks for being with us. YouTube.com/1051. The Fan. Come hang out in the chat. We're always talking stupid stuff in there. A lot to get to this hour. We will touch on the Heisman Trophy race. And could this be the year that it finally runs its case? We'll see that. Plus, we'll check in on Blazers over the weekend. Rough little weekend. Yeah, rough little weekend. So we'll get to there. But we'll start, Danny, with your Oregon Ducks. Your Oregon Ducks steamrolled Minnesota on a Friday night. I talked to the sideline reporter for Ducks Radio. Happened to be in the building this morning. Was chatting with him. He said, nice little crowd on Friday night. Sometimes it can be a tough sell to have a good crowd on a Friday night.
I can tell you it was going to be a good crowd because I was going north on I-5 to go to the Blazers game.
Oh.
Holy.
Yeah. It looked like droves.
South was just backed up for probably 10, 12 miles. I was like, glad I'm going the other way, dog.
Yeah, so good on the students, good on the alumni for showing up for a Friday game because they can be tough. They can be really, really tough. But Oregon handles business, jumps out to a giant lead and kind of cruise from there. They finished winning 42-13 over Minnesota. And look, I think things kind of happened the way we expected them to. A shout out to Dante Moore for being extremely efficient.
Good God.
I think
he did the thing that we asked him to do.
He did the thing we asked him to do. Now, we talked about this a little bit off air, and we'll bring it to attention now. There were some throws that I didn't love from Dante, but boy, his receiving core bailed him out nicely.
I mean,
there
was just
Kenyon Sadiq is a bona fide real man playing a boys game. And, McClellan had a really nice catch. There were some balls that were just kind of maybe thrown over a little high, but maybe to ensure outside of the window of the DB.
Sure.
Those receivers went up and got him. And when you're without Gary Bryant Jr., you're without DeCorian Moore, your top two guys, it just shows the testament of the depth at that wide receiver spot. And shout out for Dante for making great plays.
I mean, you completed passes to what, 10 guys?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nobody had more than 96 yards. Who's Sadiq, who had a great game. But
great game.
I mean, they were on one.
I think one of the most impressive parts about Oregon, and something that we see a lot when they play teams like this, but you got to hope that kind of builds some kind of momentum, especially running into a giant game this weekend. Explosive plays. Me and the Brain Man, we were talking about that earlier. Oregon had explosive plays, and that's what they needed. That Noah Whittington run, when I saw that, I was like, it's going to be a long night for Minnesota.
Jordan Davidson hit that hole and was like,
oh! Yep.
Oh.
Both of them had really explosive plays, and it's kind of like, this is how it's going to go. All right, buckle up.
When those guys get 8 and 7 carries, but you get 9 yards per carry and 8 yards per carry because you're salting this thing away immediately. You're like, all right, pack it up.
Roaming street reporters on the YouTube chat telling me that the Minnesota fans showed up well, especially for a Friday game. You got to love that.
Minnesota.
I mean, think about it. I think that would be the coolest aspect of conference realignment. If you were in a position, alumni, financially, whatever it is, work-wise, if you work from home or remotely, whatever it is, that you are able to go to other games a lot, conference realignment's got to be awesome. Because if you're Minnesota, you're like, oh, we're going to Autzen this year? Oh, I'll be at that game.
And
if you're an Oregon fan, you're like, College Station?
Yeah.
I mean, State College? Sorry.
College, yeah.
State College? Ooh, yeah. That sounds great. I've never been to the Big House. Let's go to the Big House.
Go to the Shoe?
Yeah, if you're Wisconsin, I'm going to go to the Coliseum this year. Yeah. Unless you're Florida State and you're like, I got to go all the way to the Farm?
Yeah.
Ugh.
All the way across the country? Ooh,
Oh, God.
That's tough.
And they suck, so no one's going to be there?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Minnesota, great fan base for hockey, for sure.
Well, yeah.
I mean, for those who don't know, Minnesota and North Dakota, the two preeminent kind of hockey powers for the past 25 years in college hockey. And being stationed in Grand Forks, North Dakota, they have no bigger rival than Minnesota. And let me tell you, man, like that, they travel in droves. Like they aren't this massive fan base, but they're diehards. They are.
Another great thing, getting back into the game, another great thing for Oregon that we kind of talked about all last week was how are the DBs going to play? You're finally going to see a little bit of a pass offense from Minnesota, who pass better than they run, and that was shown.
They shut that down.
But they shut it down. But again,
the negative plays.
Yep.
Where are they?
That's what you keep hollering about. And that could be one of the secret, untalked about things coming into the USC game. We'll kind of preview the USC game at noon. But again, another great defensive performance. But
you just want to see a little bit more disruption.
Mm-hmm.
That's my. It's not like it's not like a shot at the Ducks. It's just like,
and it's weird because it shouldn't be a negative thing against a defense.
No.
But when we watch the Georgias of the world, the Indianas
the
of the world,
disruption.
the Ohio State's defense, there's sacks, there's interceptions, pick sixes,
breakups, like just. They hold Minnesota. I mean, Drake Lindsey, who's been really good for Minnesota this year, 19 of 32. He barely completes, over 50% of his passes. Was it a $140? Yeah, 138 and a touchdown. Like, they limited him, which it depends on how you want to look at it, in the sense of, do you want to have more risk and be more disruptive and throw more blitzes and get to the quarterback more, or do you want to be this bend but don't break and don't allow scores? Because at the end of the day, yes, you want to be more disruptive because you can force turnovers and you force punts and all those things, but there's inherent risk with that. But if you can rush 4 or 5 and keep everybody in coverage at the same time and not necessarily be disruptive, but limit everything and make teams go 10, 12, 14 play drives, which is what I think a lot of teams do. There's something to that, because at the end of the day, it's about points and how many points you give up. And if you just don't give up points, but you don't get the disruptive plays, you don't get the turnovers, can you really argue with the results?
Exactly. We'll talk about Seahawks Rams, but there's a little bit of that in the Seahawks defense as well. Like, just because you play really good and don't have those disruption plays, in the NFL, we let it go because, as we always say, there's no style points in the NFL. But in college football, unfortunately, there's style points.
There is.
And I almost would rather have the Oregon Duck defense right now that just bend, don't break, stuff you at the line of scrimmage, but not have disruption.
Make you work downfield
then
for long
trying
drives.
to jump that route for a pick six, and the guy catches it for a first down and continues the drive. So it's kind of like, from a visual, it's like all the rules change to get more offense in football, but that doesn't necessarily make the game look better. They just think it looks better. I would almost rather take an Oregon defense that just hold the line.
On the flip side, though, they didn't have the disruptives against Indiana. And Indiana's the best offense they played, and what did Indiana do?
Punch them in the face.
So that, to me, is, if you're talking about the key to, and we'll preview the game, the key to Oregon USC is putting USC behind the sticks. Because if you let USC play the way that they want to play, which is chunk yards to Mekhi Lemon and Jacoby Lane, you will struggle. Because we saw that with Indiana, with Surratt and Omar Cooper Jr. Like, that's the thing. It's like, can they be tested? Can that secondary be tested to where all of a sudden you can't let a quarterback like Mendoza or Jaden Mayava sit back there and carve you up, because that's what great quarterbacks do. If you give them time and you give them opportunity, they make plays.
And I think Lindsey was a little bit of an appetizer for that, but he's not Mayava.
No.
He's not Mendoza.
No. Heisman Doza.
503-864-6326 is the fan text line. Did what Dante did against Minnesota make Julian Saint's game look less impressive, especially considering the wide receiver core that OSU has? 2 things on that. 1, Ohio State has an amazing wide receiver room. Oregon's room ain't too shabby.
No.
They're missing their 2 best wide receivers, not counting Sadiq, and they're still putting guys in.
Yeah.
So I don't think
they've got great depth there.
I don't think the gap between Oregon and Ohio State's receiving rooms is that large.
I do.
You do?
I do.
You do.
If you're saying more,
I mean, they're better for sure,
Yeah.
but I don't know if the gap is that different, because they might be deeper. What does Ohio State look like if Jeremiah Smith goes down?
I mean, they've got other dudes too, but like, if you're asking me to rank, and I'll sound full homer here, I don't care. USC is one of the best wide receiver corps in the
You're fine.
country.
Mekhi Lemon is
Mekhi Lemon
TV.
and Jacoby Lane are absolute monsters. McCree's a great tight end. If you want to take a look at wide receiver rooms in the country right now, it's probably USC, Indiana, Ohio State. Those are probably your best wide receiver rooms.
Throw Oregon not far from behind, especially at full strength.
They have more depth.
Yeah,
there's
for
no
sure.
doubt about that. They are a team that is loaded with depth.
They have the best tight end of the group.
Yes,
Yeah.
unabashedly. But if you're talking about the guy, you're talking about who are you scared to death of? Like, if you are a team that's playing USC, you should be scared to death of Mekhi Lemon. If you were a team playing Ohio State,
That's
you are
fair.
scared to death of Jeremiah
I am
Smith.
more afraid of Mekhi Lemon than I am DeCorian Moore.
Yes, and again, it's not a shot at DeCorian
No,
Moore.
not
He's
a shot.
kid.
He's a freshman, yeah.
He's going to be
Mekhi is an NFL first day oneer.
He might be the number one wide receiver taken in the draft.
Probably will be.
Like, that's, and you take a look at Indiana the same way. When you look at Surratt and you look at Omar Cooper Jr. and you're just like,
That catch Cooper made was insane.
like, when you're talking about the top of the top guys, like, to me, those are probably the 3 best rooms in the country.
But in the sense of looking at Julian Sayin, I don't know what to tell you about Julian Sayin. I think Dante's ceiling is insanely higher than Julian Sayin's, but he doesn't make mistakes. He's just boring Ohio State football, and he's efficient. I don't know how to compare the two. Dante is the much better athlete, in my opinion. I think he has the potential to be the better quarterback than Julian Sayin.
If you're talking about NFL prospect wise, I would probably take Dante right now.
Oh, for sure.
But again, Sayin's a true freshman.
Right.
So
he's just so tough. He's so tough to understand, and that's why the Heisman chatter around him is really weird to me. But let's get into that. Let's talk about a little Heisman. Can a defensive lineman from Texas Tech can win this? Can a wide receiver from USC win this? There's a lot of guys out there that can win the Heisman Trophy, yet we're still stuck in the mud looking at the same position and the same guys because we want that narrative to work. We'll do that next, but first, we'll toss to Casey with sports.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This sports update is brought to you by Reynolds Defense Firm. If you've been arrested for a DUI, you need a team of attorneys that you can put your trust into. Call Reynolds Defense Firm today, online at reynoldsdefensefirm.com. First on the Fan, some good news for Mariners fans is Josh Naylor has agreed to a 5-year contract, keeping him with the team on a $90 to $100 million contract pending a physical. Naylor is a lifetime .269 hitter with 104 home runs in his career. Over to the association as the Blazers fell short in an overtime nail-biter last night as the Mavs pulled away 138-133. They now currently sit at 9th in the Western Conference at 6-7 and will host the Suns at the Moda Center tomorrow at 8 p.m. Monday Night Football is in the Sin City as the Raiders host the Cowboys tonight at 5 p.m. inside of Allegiant Stadium. Some more NFL news for you as Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers suffered a left wrist injury in the first half of the Steelers' 34-12 win over Cincinnati. Ian Rappaport reports that Rodgers' likelihood of playing next Sunday against Chicago is 50-50. And your number 8 Ducks will face the number 17 ranked USC Trojans this Saturday at 12:30. College Game Day will be in attendance, but make sure to check out all the coverage with us right here on The Fan. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
Sports Saturday with Joe Fisher and Rashad Taylor.
right, coming up next, we'll dive into a little Blazers. They had a little rough weekend. Try to bail them out a little bit. Some circumstantial evidence. Also, that 18-year-old is pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Not bad.
Not bad, Bob. So we'll get to that coming up next. Sticking college football for a little bit here. A lot of NFL to get to in hour number deuce. Heisman. Tricky little subject right now. We've been we were hyper-focused on it a little bit at the beginning of the year, and then I think our kind of excitement in it started to fade a little bit because it was just nobody really separating themselves. But look, we're getting down to the wire here. And we were talking about Julian Sayin last segment in comparison to Dante Moore and efficiency and wide receiver room, stuff like that. I mean, the case for Sayin is building. I mean, every week he is getting better. Every week that offense seems to be scoring more and more points. It was a struggle at the beginning of the year, but that might be expected with a true freshman riding quarterback at Ohio State. But you're a true freshman at Ohio State. We expect you to be pretty good.
Completing 80% of your passes.
That is wild. That's a wild stat. But again, there's no, back to this, Oregon disruption defense and the eye test. It's not sexy.
No.
And we try to think of the Heisman as Charles Woodson.
It's the best player in college football.
Right.
That's what it's about.
Right. And it's supposed to be like who's had a Heisman moment? Is it Mendoza's against Penn State?
Or against Oregon?
Is it Mendoza against Oregon? Yeah. Is it Julian Sayin against nobodies? That's hard.
That's the thing is Ohio State hasn't played anybody but Texas.
Right. And
now that win's looking
even rougher.
Yeah.
The Theismann, Ty Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I will say to caveat before we kind of really get into some stuff, I find it brutal that Ty Simpson had a legit shot to win the Heisman, but because they lose, he's out of it.
Yeah,
and I think that's rough because he didn't have a terrible game.
No,
he's not the reason they lost.
And he's completing 67% of his passes. He has 2,800 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, and 2 picks.
See, that's where the Heisman gets a little tricky for me. But also, that's how you get guys like Lamar Jackson and RG3 and Jaden Daniels. That's how they win Heismans. Even though their team's not in the playoff or not competing for it, they're just really good and they weren't penalized for their losses. To where I feel this year, if Mendoza were to lose this coming weekend, he'd be off the board for Heisman, and that's rough.
I mean,
that's rough.
Look, if I had a vote, legitimately, who I think the best players in college football are right now, it would be between Byron Brown and Haynes King.
May I throw out there Jacob Rodriguez for Texas Tech?
Also, how good he has been is everywhere.
And honestly, coming on late, we'll see how this weekend goes. Give me Makai Lemon. We walked into the year thinking it was going to be Jeremiah Smith, so we had no problem giving it to a wide receiver. Why can't it be Makai Lemon? If he finishes out the last 2 games doing what he's done the last 4 games, that's a worthy Heisman Trophy winner for me.
If USC beats Oregon and Makai Lemon has 10 catches for $120 and 2 touchdowns and is leading the nation in receiving yards, which is very real. He's 3rd in the nation right now in receiving yards. And USC finishes the season 10-2.
With a playoff.
With going to the playoff with Lemon being the best wide receiver in the country. And I know
that's the big benefit that Oregon and USC have going into this game is whoever wins is in the playoff and you don't have to play in the Big Ten title game.
It's actually kind of a nice little perk.
It's really nice perk.
I know I'm going to be a USC homer, all those kind of things right now, but if you've not watched Makai Lemon play football this year, you are missing out. He makes 2 or 3 catches a game where you just go, holy crap.
On the text line, they're mentioning Jeremiah Love. Did you see him hurdle that guy for a touchdown?
Ooh,
baby.
He's an athletic freak. He's been on Feldman's freak list for the last couple of years, and
But that's what I'm saying. Jacob Rodriguez, Jeremiah Love, Makai Lemon, these are guys that are showing, I know one's a defensive player, and they're never going to give it to a defensive guy anymore.
And what he's doing is
if
a pass
Ndamukong
rusher.
Suh
He's got, 4 interceptions as a pass rusher? It's just
If Ndamukong Suh can't win the Heisman, then it's going to be very difficult for a defensive player to win it. But even Jadeveon Clowney was amazing.
But for me, Byron Brown, he has 2,500 passing yards. He's completing 66% of his passes, 21 touchdowns, 7 picks. He's also run for 841 yards, almost a 6-yard average and 11 touchdowns.
The problem is, and we saw this a little bit with Travis Hunter last year at Colorado, if you aren't one of these blue bloods and you're trying to win a Heisman,
you got to do something
special. Can't lose games.
Yeah.
You can't lose games. And because South Florida is South Florida and not taken seriously, although they should, it's a nice little program being built down there. because they're not being taken seriously, the second you lose a game, they're like, you're out. Travis Hunter wins it because he plays on both sides of the ball. But if he's just a phenomenal wide receiver, I don't think he wins it from Colorado last year. They weren't that good. So that's the unfortunate punishment when you play on these smaller schools. I'll throw Haynes King in there for the same reason. Georgia Tech undefeated right now. Haynes King, without a doubt, is the leader for the Heisman. But because they've lost, can't give it to that guy. He lost a game.
I'll tell you right now, Haynes King completing 73% of his passes, 2,300 yards, 10 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 800 yards rushing, 14 rushing touchdowns.
Yes.
Those two dudes matter more to their programs, and the level they're playing at is so insane. Like that to me, that when you're
It's a
talking
fascinating thought. You're talking MVP,
like
the V, not the M, the V.
Not only that, I think they're the best players in college football right now. The ask of them and what they're delivering. Both of these guys have lost games where they have had over 400 yards of total offense and 4 total touchdowns or more. Like, what more do you want? And it's not like they're sitting there in these like Texas Tech offenses where it's just air raid. Like, these are guys that are running the ball 18 to 20 times a game, throwing the ball 25 times a game. It's like these guys are so responsible for everything that they do, and they are delivering.
And I don't understand why it has to be the popularity contest of the undefeated teams. Look, if Mendoza wins it, I got no problem.
No,
with it.
Mendoza's 100% there.
Really only had one rough quote unquote game, and that was against Iowa.
And he's leading the nation in passing touchdowns.
He looked pretty good against Oregon, and the Penn State game. Look, Penn State, that was their last stand. That was their last stand of the year. Win one for the Gipper. We've got NFL dudes. Let's try to knock this off. Mendoza wasn't the reason that game was close. Mendoza was the reason that game ended.
He was the reason it was close early.
And I think
he struggled early, and then he turned into a dude in that fourth quarter.
And I think that's what's tough about the Julian Sayans of the world. It's like, yeah, man,
the ask of him is so much less.
You're efficient, and your team's undefeated, but you haven't played anybody. And your team is one of the more stacked teams coming off a national championship that put a ton of dudes in the NFL that we've seen in a long time.
What happens if you put Byron Brown on Ohio State?
They're putting 60 on people, maybe.
You know what I mean? Like that's
Haynes King.
Yeah, that's
Mendoza even. Dude, you throw Dante Moore on Ohio State.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's what's tough for me, but it's this narrative that you got to be undefeated and you got to compete for a natty. Well, I just named 3 guys that were not competing for a natty that won the Heisman. Now, Jaden might be the most wet blanket of Heisman Trophy winners in a long time, but he still won one. And so did Lamar Jackson and RG3. Those teams weren't good, but they were great. And I think it's time to start changing that narrative and just looking at guys for being great and stop looking at their jerseys and stop looking at their record.
Who's the best player in college football? Like that's what it should be to me.
For my money right now, it's Jacob Rodriguez, Mekhi Lemon, Jeremiah Love, and Fernando Mendoza.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's my list.
I'd say it's Jeremiah Love. I mean,
he's been incredible.
That spin move and what he does just single-handedly for that offense.
And look, I hate Notre Dame, but the ask for him is like CJ Carr's been good for them, but Jeremiah Love is the dude who makes that all go for them.
And he
delivered against USC.
That game was a big game against Pitt. And 5 minutes into the game, Jeremiah Love was like, "This game's not important. Yep, you're getting steamrolled because we have playoff written all over us."
He's Saquon Barkley.
He is.
Like
that's a great way to put it.
He's just a different level athlete that we don't see at that position that often.
And if you're a Cowboy fan, he'll be a Cowboy because they'll reach for him in the draft.
They love running backs.
They do. Jerry wants the flash. If I were them, I'd get like an offensive lineman or a linebacker. Oh wait, you had a linebacker. You did.
You should probably use like your 5 straight picks on defense.
Yeah, no kidding. But no, he'll grab Jeremiah Love
or whatever Arkansas players out there.
Well, that's true. They got a quarterback.
Yeah, well,
they got a quarterback.
Dak's replacement is Taylor Green.
Taylor Green is good. I don't know if he's NFL.
He's
good.
fun, baby.
He's fun. And sometimes that's all that matters. All right, let's get local. We'll talk a little bit about the Blazers. They come off their weekend. Kind of a rough road trip to start. They're back home now, and they'll play it again tomorrow. What do we take from it? I think there's a little room for apologies for this Blazer team. What happened over the weekend? We'll get to that next. 105.1 The Fan. Coming up in hour number deuce, we'll get to some NFL stuff. The future of a first-round draft pick quarterback not looking too great. And did the NFC West battle live up to the hype? Because I know I hyped it up a lot last week. So we'll get to some NFL. Also, is coming back in college football a good thing? Because it was great on TV, but I don't know if it's great for your Natty Championship run, plus Web Gems, as we do every day at 11:45. But we'll get into the Blazers here as we finish up the first hour. 0-2 over the weekend. They drop on Friday to a Houston team that, look, I've got nothing really to say.
Nope.
Houston's really good.
They were a buzzsaw.
They're a buzzsaw. You know, when you have guys like Durant and that size, it worked out. I wanted to see the Blazers against that size, and I don't want to see that anymore. You know, I'm not into that anymore. So I'm kind of willing to kind of scrub that and wash that away, as Houston is my pick to come out of the West. The Dallas situation was tough, and I think I was really excited going into this game because, A, I want to watch Cooper Flag as much as possible, and playing the Blazers gives me a great reason to watch Cooper Flag. But also I wanted to see like a nice little win coming off the road trip where, you know, you could have beat Miami, you should have beat Orlando. We'll chalk the Houston game up to nothing and then get a W and show me how good you look. Once I saw the Drew news, it was like, I'm out.
And yeah,
Not out watching the game, but my expectations were completely gone at that point.
what are the Blazers' two woes that they kind of deal with?
Guards, man. Guards.
Creation and shooting. And you saw that. There was a lot last night when they got stuck in the half court where they just didn't have it.
Mm-hmm.
And credit to Denny and Shaden for getting downhill. Denny was incredibly efficient. I mean, it was kind of funny. I looked down at the box score at the end of the night. I'm like, oh, Denny finished with 29, 7, and 6. But Denny also had, you know, two probably bad fouls that lead to him fouling out in overtime. And in the fourth quarter, you know, in a game shot that goes to overtime, was like, what the hell was that, Denny?
Pretty uncharacteristic for him too.
And this is where having a guy like Giroux matters, or having a Dame matters. I'm not going to put Scoot in that yet because Scoot hasn't showed that ability to be the calming presence yet. He could eventually, for sure. But like Giroux if Giroux gets that ball, he knows, okay, this is what the team has done defensively all night. I've got something in my pocket for this. And he can maybe attempt to drive, get into a pick and roll, and it leads to a kick out or a shot, or he's going to generate a decent shot. Drew's already hit a bunch of buzzer beaters this year, not necessarily game winners, but like you trust him in that situation.
That's the vet. That's the Hall of Famer down the stretch. That's why he's on this team.
100%. But you saw from Shaden last night, when he was good, he was great. When he was bad, it was awful. And and that's not necessarily a shot at Shaden as much as
shooting 3-pointers, bro.
It's not just that. This is where Giroux matters so much. It's like in the moments where things get clunky, he can be the guy that greases the wheels.
And he covers up a big problem that we see without him, not just in guards, but in depth. Yeah. Because for the side of the room that wants Jeremy to start, look, Jeremy had a good game against Dallas. He started 26 points.
He finished 7 of 20 because he ended up having kind of to chuck his last 4 shots. He wasn't like very efficient, but he was
4
aggressive.
of 9 from downtown.
Got to the rim, got to the free throw line.
But what does the bench give you now?
Yeah.
Nothing. And I don't want to get into should Jeremy start, but for those of you that want to see it, this is the situation that you want to see, and you're just not getting enough shot production. And to the texter who texted in, maybe discuss how the Blazers are supposed to be one of the best defensive teams in the league and have quickly morphed into one of the worst. We hammer this and you hammer it the most. When you play at the pace of the Blazers,
the number of possessions
is so astronomical that people just have more possessions.
Yeah.
And with more possessions means you're going to score. Stop looking at the score and telling me that that's bad defense.
Look at the points per 100.
Exactly.
And if you look at the Blazers right now, they are after the Houston game, they're 16th.
And take the
they're 22nd. The Houston game
really
punishes
them, and that's what, you know, teams that have finals aspirations will do to you. It's depth, it's guard play. This team, the way it's built, is just not built to
withstand this many
anything.
injuries to this many guys.
And building teams, growing teams, whatever you want to call this Blazer team. That's not a Blazer problem. That's everyone across the league trying to do what the Blazers are doing and grow. A Charlotte, even in Orlando. Like sometimes you can't get to Boston level depth, or, you know, when Tatum's healthy, or an OKC level depth when you're trying to build. Take Denver, for example. When Jokic finally gets his title, they had to make trades at the trade deadline to bolster the depth of that team, and it ended up winning. What happened the next year? They didn't have that depth and couldn't win. So when you're a team rebuilding and you're struggling, if you don't have that depth, the second one important piece goes, and dare I say Drew Holiday is the most important. Once that piece is gone, it's going to expose a lot of issues.
So you don't have Dame, you don't have Scoot, you don't have Drew, you don't have Tease, you don't have Blake Wesley. That's 5
brutal.
guys. That is your guard depth. The only other guy you have in that guard depth is Shaden.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Or Caleb Love, who's a
two-way.
who I don't think you want running your offense through.
Not for big chunks of the game, that's for sure.
Because that guy is like, I don't care who's on my team. Me shoot ball far.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, too. I have mentioned this, and I will continue to mention this until I'm blue in the face. If you are a team that is a 40 to 44 win team, let's say I'll give you a wider swath, a 36 to 44 win
Which
team.
the Blazers are right in
They
that.
are in that.
Right smack
That is the
dab.
majority of teams in the NBA.
I would even
Now,
say 40 to 44, they could be considered in that sweat.
yes, but 100%. But here's the thing: when you get into clutch games within 5 points with 5 minutes to go, it is a coin toss. If you are in that group of teams, it is a coin toss. The Blazers have played 9 clutch games so far this year. 9 of their 13 games have been clutch. Guess what their record is? Take a wild guess.
1-8.
They're 4-5.
Oh, there you go. Flip a
Coin toss.
Yeah.
This road trip, and this isn't to like be all sunshine and rainbows. That's not what this is. They went 1-4 on this road trip. They should have gone 3-2. They should have beaten Orlando. They should have beaten Dallas.
Could have beaten Miami.
Yeah.
Could be 4-1.
But I mean, they should have gone 3-2 on this trip. They didn't. You are what your record says you are.
I don't think we expected them to beat Orlando, but boy, they were in that game and
They
easily
should have won that game.
Once you watch it, they should have.
They should have won that game. And the same thing is true of Dallas. But you gave Dallas an opportunity, and an 18-year-old kid came out there and looked like a grown man.
Coop's
Cooper
good.
Flag was 1 of 3 in the first half. 1 of 3 in the first half. He did almost nothing.
They're asking him to run the offense.
And then he comes out. I want to pull these second half numbers up. Cooper Flag in the second half, God, this always does something weird. He goes 6 of 11 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, 2 of 3 from the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block. He has 15 points. This is an 18-year-old. And those 15 points, he was an absolute monster. He took Tumani Kamara down to the block, banged him twice, turn and fade over the top of him. Did it to Jeremy. Did it to Chris. Got to the rim. The breakaway play where he takes it and goes the length of the court, goes behind his back twice, and then Euro steps through 3 guys and finishes the rim. I was cackling in my chair. Like, this dude is going to be 19 in a month.
Yeah.
Like, the expectations on him are so incredible. To be honest, I thought this was his best game as a pro so far.
Good.
The control that he displayed, the steadiness that he showed. He is the youngest player in NBA history to have 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 0 turnovers.
And being asked to run the offense as not a point guard.
Like that, his stat line isn't this thing like, because we've gone so akin to like recognizing these massive, like Lowry ends up with a 40 piece last night for the Jazz, and you're just like, good God. But an 18-year-old doing this, keep in mind, he is supposed to be in college right now. He is supposed to be in this next draft class. He
on the most
reclassed.
loaded Duke team of all time.
Yes. And yet he is 18 years old in the NBA looking like that.
Last thought on the text line. Brandon Sprague was just in here talking about it as well with us. Denny is an elite driver of the basketball. Why the hell did he take a step back 3 with the game tied? We don't know, buddy.
I am 100% on
know.
board with Tiago not calling a timeout, because if you let a team call a timeout and set their defense, Jason Kidd gets Brandon Williams off the floor, and they get better defensively.
They got me all wet.
But at the same time, Two's in the strong side corner, and he's got Brandon Williams on him. That's where they're hiding him.
Mm-hmm.
2 is kind of splitting the difference between sinking into the corner and bringing the screen. And like it looked like Denny thought maybe 2 was going to bring it, and then 2 kind of got caught in between. Shaden's on the weak side, get ready for the ball. And it looked like Denny just settled.
Yep.
Like, if you're 2, bring the screen, dog. Get Brandon Williams in the action.
It was really uncharacteristic of Denny, and
It
that's
was.
why I kind of let it pass, because I'm like, man, that guy doesn't do that. If he starts doing that more and more, then we might have a question.
And again, Denny finished with 29, 7 and 6 on 10 of 20, 2 of 7 from 3, 7 of 7 for the free throw line.
Last note I'd like to say, I know I already said last note, Shaden had 39 points, or 39 minutes, and good.
Had to.
But good. I want to see those minute restrictions kind of be lifted a little bit.
On the Denny note, over the last 7 games, you know what he's averaging? 27-7-5 on 49, 38, 85.
Who is it that came out the other day and said that was it Kevin Durant that said Denny Advia definitely is a
All-Star?
All-Star?
Yeah. Like,
it's high praise.
he's a dude.
That's high praise from a top 10 player of all time.
Like I said, he is a no doubt dyed-in-the-wool, like, number 2 on a good team. If he's your number 3, you were a title contender.
All right, let's get into our number deuce. We'll slide over to the NFL. Did the NFC West matchup live up to its potential? And another injury for this quarterback who seems not to be able to get away from them. What the future looks like in Atlanta as well, plus a little college football. Loaded hour number 2. Stick with us. We're having a good time here on a Monday. 105.1 The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, some good news for Mariners fans as Josh Naylor has agreed to a 5-year contract, keeping him with the team on a $90 to $100 million contract. That will come out depending on his physical. Naylor is a lifetime 269 hitter with 104 home runs in his career. Over to the association as the Blazers fell short in an overtime nail-biter last night as the Mavs pulled away 138-133. They now sit at 9th in the Western Conference at 6-7 and will host the Suns at the Moda tomorrow at 8 p.m. Monday Night Football is in Sin City as the Raiders host the Cowboys tonight at 5 p.m. inside Allegiant Stadium. Some more NFL news for you as Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers suffered a left wrist injury in the first half of the Steelers' 34-12 win over Cincinnati. Ian Rappaport reports that Rodgers' likelihood of playing next Sunday against Chicago is 50-50. And your number 8 Ducks will face off against the number 17 ranked USC Trojans this Saturday at 12:30. College Game Day will be in attendance, but make sure to check out all the coverage right here with us here on The Fan. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
The home of the firm of Harris and Meringue, not ambulance check.
All right, hour number deuce. Thanks for sticking with us. You missing the first hour? You can download that, The Fan Podcast, 1051thefan.com, the Odyssey app, wherever you get your podcasts. Shout out on the YouTubes over there. You can watch us there. Any show, you can go back and check things out. If you missed the ticker guest this morning, it was Andy Dirt Johnson on the Sunrise Guys. If you want to catch some prime time from last week at some point, you can go back and check those out. Rewind, fast forward. You just can't fast forward into the future. For that would be impossible.
Easy ride, easy ride.
Coming up this hour, we'll get into some NFL as we do right now, and a little college football action too. Is coming back from a big lead, from a big deficit, a good thing? Is it a good test? Or were you wrong for being there in the first place? We'll get to that in about a half hour. But I want to stick in the NFL here and get to the NFC West showdown. Rams take down the Seahawks 21-19. I am the resident Seahawk believer on this show. Not that you are not, Danny, but I've definitely been suckling and getting at that team because I am a firm believer that I really like how this team is built. The obvious storyline from this game is Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold did not have a great game. 4 turnovers, 2 in the very beginning of the game, which put the Rams in a very easy situation to go up 14-0. Give a big shout out to Seattle for crawling back. That defense is real. Matt Stafford gets into a nice position to go 14-0 because he has short fields to work in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And you're kind of thinking this could be a blowout. And then the Rams offense disappears. Look, we can get into Sam Darnold and his difficulties, and he definitely had a rough game and deserves some criticism, although don't tell his teammates that.
Ernest Jones, man.
I know. You got to love that.
What a great response.
Like, dude, I'm buying you dinner tomorrow. You know, like that's it.
That's a guy going, this guy's been great for us this season.
And
he had a rough game.
And I think what he's trying to say is he had a rough game and the Seahawks were still in it because as much grief as Sam Darnold deserves, I'm going to flip this on this head and kind of say, where's Matt Stafford in this game? All right. Matt Stafford gets a giant pass because he's a good-looking dude who plays in L.A., won a Super Bowl, and is going to the Hall of Fame. #1 overall draft pick. We're so relieved that he got out of Detroit, some cesspool called Detroit, who happens to be a pretty good organization right now, that he's absolved of the fact that outside of those 2 touchdowns, that offense couldn't do anything. But we're going to sit here and yell at Sam Darnold just because the stats are that gross. I think Stafford deserves a little bit of like, where were you, bud? Where were you? And give the Seahawks a ton of credit. They could have won that game playing that terribly.
If you can't hit a 61-yard field goal. I mean, it's like people getting mad at the kicker. I'm just like, come on, guys.
If you're mad at the kicker, be mad that the offense fumbled that last drive and made him kick a 61-yarder. You could have got that into 50 range.
And gave yourself a real
easier.
chance.
A real chance. When he shaked that ball, I looked at my buddy and I said, did he get a hand on that? And he was like, no, he didn't. That's rough. That's rough. But I can't kill the kicker for it. I do kill Sam Darnold a little bit. My biggest critique of Sam Darnold, other than obviously the 4 turnovers is never going to help you, is the last drive was rough. But you still had a chance to win, and that's why I like the Seahawks team still.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to run the ball decently well. Kyron Williams, ripping off some big runs for the Rams.
They stick to it.
Yeah.
Sorry. I thought you were talking about the Seahawks.
No. I mean, the Seahawks were able to run the ball relatively well. It wasn't crazy or anything like that, but they were able to run the ball relatively well. But you got what you kind of expected out of this game between 2 really good teams.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we thought a shootout. Remember the Tampa game? Mm-hmm. We were like, ooh, this is going to be ugly, and it turned out to be a shootout. Yeah. That's not what this was.
If you throw 4 interceptions, you should have a 0% chance in the game.
Without a doubt.
And yet the Seahawks did.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to give them credit in that regard. Beyond that, the Rams, like, you got 4 turnovers and you weren't able to turn that into points.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly.
So, like,
well, 2 of them you did, but then couldn't do anything else.
That's what I mean. Like, outside of that, you couldn't do anything else. And like, so part of me wants to give the Seahawks credit. Part of me wants to give the Rams credit. Like the NFL is not about style points.
No, it's not.
It's about getting the win. And like that win, that division win, is going to be huge down the stretch. They're both now, they're tied in the division, right? I was looking at that earlier.
Division record?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Let me pull it back up. I might have been looking at something else. I thought they were tied now, the division record.
But if you look at this,
no, they're not. The Rams are 2-1. The Seahawks are 2-2. What's hilarious is the San Francisco 49ers are 7-4, and they're 4-1 in the division.
yeah.
So
They beat the Seahawks in week 1.
that Rams win could be huge in deciding how this thing
Huge.
turns out.
Who's the better team, Seattle or the Rams? I don't know that answer because I do not expect in any other big game Sam Darnold to have a game like this. Against the Rams, against the Niners, against somebody in the playoffs, you can't expect him to just have a bad game.
No.
He had a bad game, and they almost won.
And I know the whole seeing ghosts thing is there with Darnold. Part of me wants to say how many of these. I heard the Sunshine Boys talking about this, and I was thinking the same thing as I was driving in. Like, Darnold hasn't just had many of these games. Not just the bad games, but like big games.
Oh, yeah. But the fact that he hasn't played in a ton of big games.
And I think it's too early to say he can't do it.
But
in the big games, he has looked poor.
But I also think twofold, was this a big game? We walked into this game going, does the loser of this game instantly in our minds go, you're out? No. Because I just asked, who's the better team between the Seahawks and the Rams? I don't know that answer.
I want to say...
Because if Sam Darnold only has 2 turnovers,
they win
this
this game.
game. Even the 2 in the beginning that got the Rams 14 points. If he only has those, they might win this game.
I want to say the Rams, but I think I'm going to say the Seahawks, which doesn't make any sense.
None of it makes sense.
Because the Rams won. But part of me wants to say the Seahawks are a better team. And I don't have a dog in the fight with either of these two teams, but I think the Seahawks, their defense is just so damn good that...
Houston level for you?
No, Houston's defense is that team
I know
is
you
full
love Houston.
That team is full of terrorists. Like they just are. They want to tear your head off. There's something different about them. But for Ernest Jones to get up there after that game and tell everybody to basically shut the hell up about his quarterback.
It's my quarterback.
That was pretty damn cool.
That's my teammate.
Yeah, to your guys' point, these teams are identical. You look at the stats. Each of them had 6 penalties for about 40-some yards. They both ran for over 120 yards.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is the 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
Do you expect Sam Darnold to do that? And to your point, Patrick, Matthew Stafford didn't have to really do much. All he had to do was not turn the ball over and make sure you guys get down the field for a chance to get points. I know they didn't capitalize off of those turnovers as much as they should have, but they were able to get off the explosives and they were able to move the offense.
And the playmakers for both teams showed up.
They
Puka
did.
showed up. JSN showed up.
Cup had some nice plays.
Yeah, like the guys that needed to show up showed up, and the only real I would be very interested to see if Darnold only threw two picks.
What this looks like.
Game would have looked like.
Yeah, and to the Matt Stafford point that Casey brings up, in today's NFL, we give a lot more credence to the game manager. We've started to buck the trend of that being a negative word to say for quarterbacks, and especially veterans that have played as long as he has. You know, Rodgers can do this as well on your Steelers. Like, they get away with being a game manager late in their career because the respect that they already earn. I mean, Tom Brady is probably the greatest game manager of all time because until he had Randy Moss, that offense isn't that explosive.
Tom Brady with 2 minutes.
Tom Brady with 2 minutes just gets it done. But I also want to beware, and this is kind of what I was saying about Matt Stafford in this game, beware of just blindly saying it's okay that they didn't make mistakes, because he also didn't really make plays to win. So it's like he didn't make plays to lose, but he didn't really make plays to win. And I think that's something that we can't just blindly give a guy like Matt Stafford credit for. If I'm a Seahawks fan, would I rather have Matt Stafford out? Absolutely. Not even close. But I've got a very poor version of Matt Stafford, and I lost that game missing a 61-yard field goal. I'll take it. I'll take it.
I mean, if you're going to lose, you don't
lose that way.
You don't want to play a good game and lose.
No.
You know what I mean? Like that's a harder pill to swallow.
No moral losses.
If you're watching film right now, the Seahawks, you know why you lost.
Yep.
There's no well, we could have done, and we did everything this, and we played our best game. No, you lost by 2 in a game that, you know why. You're -4 in the turnover column.
Matt Stafford is an exponentially better quarterback than Sam Darnold, they both had meh days.
Yes.
Because I think the stats make Darnold look worse than it really was.
The picks are
The
gonna
Rams
make you-
defense is really good. That's
Yeah,
a
it
good
is.
defense.
Opportunistic for sure.
Yeah. Seahawks get a little break as the schedule opens up for them, so we'll check back in on them probably in a couple weeks. And we'll see the Rams. I mean, the NFC West, boy, that's a fun division. Not if you're the Cardinals. But everybody else seems to. Do you know that Brock Purdy now has the record for most completions in a game? Or no, not Brock Purdy. Jacoby Brissett in that game.
57.
Like,
He threw the ball almost 60 times.
Texas Tech, baby.
that's the NFC West right now. We thought the AFC West spin a chamber. No, we did say NFC West. Are the Niners any good? God, do I have no idea. I have no
Most
idea.
fraudulent 7-4 team I've
I
ever
have
seen in my entire
no
life.
idea if
My
that team is
entire
any good.
life.
There's a quarterback who looks to be down and out for the year. This is the first time I've heard it, nor in the same spot of his injury. The future of this man and the future of the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to be a little grim here. Shake the magic 8-ball. Outlook not so good. 105.1 The Fan. Coming up in 15 minutes, we'll slide over to the SEC where it just means more. Pow. Big comeback in the SEC yesterday. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Tell you what, if you're a quarterback, you look real good in the second half. Well, you can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Stream your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long, starting at just $30 for your first year. That's like $250 a month. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. Boy, that big draft class last year of quarterbacks sure is a wild topic to broach, isn't it? Caleb Williams, super controversial. Jaden Daniels, great rookie year, busted second year. Drake May looks like an MVP. Bo Nix,
sometimes good, sometimes not so good.
It's a whole lot of I mean, I like Bo, but he is very much a
Yeah.
And I hope he figures it. Nice W, though.
Yeah.
No style points. W's or W's.
I was praying for that sweet meteor death. Chiefs and Broncos both playing. I'm just like,
Hey, at least
hate this game.
At least you get Monday Night Football.
Yeah, against the Cowboys. God.
Does it suck that the Cowboys are favored over your team?
I mean, it is.
It hurts.
Their offense is good.
Yeah.
The rest of the team is not.
It's not.
But that's the thing about my team is they're not good in either unit.
We'll all hate watch that game tonight.
Yeah, I got a little bet going with Joe Simons because he's a Cowboys fan.
Well,
I don't know what it is with Joe's and having poor team choices.
Right. Fisher's my guy, dude, and he loves the
Cowboys.
Cowboys. Oof. Maybe we'll get to that in closing arguments. But the other quarterback missing from that draft, J.J. McCarthy. Ooh.
I think we know what that one is.
We might know what that one is. The other missing quarterback from that is the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. That would be Michael Penix Jr. Adam Schefter reporting that a second opinion is going to be had, but there is a very good chance that Michael Penix is done for the year with another knee injury. And I think it's a really challenging place.
Look, man, when knees are cooked, knees are cooked. I'm an authority on this one.
Hey, and
when it goes, it doesn't get better.
Who's my favorite NBA player? Klay Thompson. When the knees go, they go.
Yeah.
And,
Although he turned the clock back for a quarter in the second quarter last night.
And he's also has a Achilles fix too. Yeah. When knees go, and that's where Michael Penix sits right now. And we've talked about them a lot throughout the season of just kind of
they're disappointing.
They're disappointing, but the future could be bright. Mm-hmm. This puts a giant kink in it. Casey's compiled the list of injuries for Michael Penix Jr. throughout his career at Indiana, UW, and now the Falcons. Was he somewhere before Indiana?
No, he started in Indiana in 2018. He suffered a torn ACL to his right knee, ending his freshman season early. 2019, he suffered a sternoclavicular joint sprain and a clavicle fracture on his non-throwing right shoulder. 2020, he suffered a torn ACL in his left knee, also ending his season. 2021, suffered an AC joint separation in his throwing left shoulder. 2022 to 2023, he was healthy all throughout his time at Washington.
Went to a natty.
And then 2025 suffered a knee injury against Carolina.
So that's 3 ACLs.
Yeah, that's
2 in one knee.
That's a tough world to live in, and I think what's really challenging, and Rufio points this out on the YouTube chat too. I know he's a Husky, but I wanted Penix to succeed in the league, and I laugh and joke that I'm anti-Penix because he's a Husky. But there's no doubt that there's a lot of talent there.
Oh, he throws a deep ball that's just sexy.
And he's lefty. We all think lefties are cool. You know, you're the outlier.
He's got the pretty arm motion, and when the ball leaves his hand, it's something intrinsic. You either have it or you don't. There are certain quarterbacks where the ball just jumps out of their hand and it looks pretty. Aaron Rodgers is, for me, number one all time. When the ball leaves Aaron Rodgers' hands, it just looks different than every other quarterback. Michael Vick was this way. Like, the ball jumped out of his hand like a rocket.
When the ball left Phillip Rivers' hands, you were like, what is that? Oh my God, it was on point.
You're like, that doesn't look, how did it get there? Like, Chad Pennington, when the ball left his hand.
Put that?
Yeah, when it left Pennington's hand, you're like, you would put a sundial on it because it would take forever to get there. But like, Penix is one of those guys, when the ball leaves his hand, it just looks different. And it's not just because he's a lefty, it's because the ball just seems to jump out of his hand, and he can make passes where the nose of the ball just drops in. Like, that's what Rodgers has just done better than anybody. When he throws a deep ball, not only does it jump out of his hand, the nose of that ball just dips down perfectly. And Penix can do that. He can also put the ball in places that other quarterbacks just can't. Caleb Williams is a guy, when you see him make a throw, you're like, there's maybe 3 guys I've ever seen that can make that throw. Like, Mahomes will do the arm slot thing where you're like, How did you even get that there? Penix has got a really, really unique arm talent. And he's a heady, high IQ football player. But the health is just a thing that, I don't know, man. Like, you know who gets a pass for this to an extent is Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's so good. But Joe has missed a ton of time. A ton of time. I don't know if Penix is ever going to be as good as Burrow, but I think his arm talent is up there of the upper echelon in the NFL.
If Joe doesn't miss as much time as he does,
His
there's no
numbers are bonkers.
there's no argument that he's the number one quarterback in the NFL.
As far as like talent
wise, because I mean, Mahomes will always live in that world because of the Super Bowls, and Allen and Jackson because of their talent.
But it's like pure quarterbacking.
But and I think that's why we give Joe a lot of leeway, like you said, is because he's so good that when he gets hurt, plus that team is so bad that we're just kind of like, well, it's not Joe's fault. It's not Joe's fault. But like Joe gets hurt a lot. And here we are with Penix, as B-Rod points out on the text line, and as a lot of people have said, look,
he was playing really well when he got hurt too.
The GM for Atlanta is going to get fired.
Yeah.
So when you're the new GM that comes in, a lot of talent on this roster. You got to find a new head coach, figure out what you're going to do there.
Don't have a first-round pick.
You don't have a first-round pick, which looks really bad now. What do you do with Michael Penix? I mean, obviously you're going to let him rehab and try to give it a go, but boy, you don't feel good. If you're a GM that gets hired in this job, do you have plan A and plan 1?
Yeah.
Of plan A is Penix gets healthy, we get the right coach in, and this starts moving in the correct direction? Or do you have plan 1, which is a rebuild? Because you've got assets that you can move to facilitate a rebuild like no one's business. Look, it's tough to say get rid of him, but imagine what Bijan gets on the open market. If you let people know that guy is for sale because you are afraid that Penix can't come back from this, that is not Herschel Walker level, but that could be a club-defining move.
This isn't the Dolphins.
You would hate to do it.
Oh, yeah.
But if Penix can't go and you've got to rebuild this whole thing, it ruins my heart to say that because A, I love him so much as a player and he just looks great in a Falcons jersey. Mm-hmm. But Robinson would start facilitating that rebuild.
Look,
it really would.
You've got 3 guys on offense in Bijan, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts, who, the whole like Pitts thing, like is he, isn't he? There's a half dozen teams or more in the NFL will be like, I'll take that chance.
Yep. And I think and also what is really difficult is not only do you not have a first round pick next year, but you're in quarterback roughness because of how much money you're paying Kirk to sit on the bench.
Not only that.
And now he's coming in and it's going to get worse.
Here's the thing.
Because Kirk, talk about when guys are done.
Oh, he's done.
That guy is done.
Yeah. The other side of this is I think you almost gap year it. You try it next year because I don't think you're looking at a quarterback in this draft.
Somebody points out, trade for Mac Jones, If Brock Purdy is healthy all year, can that be a stopgap? A guy like Mac Jones? Look, Danny Dimes was supposed to be a stopgap, and he looks legit.
But here's the flip side of this. You go out and get another backup, a young backup in the offseason. You figure that part of it out. But I don't think you're invested in a quarterback in this class. So you've
been really hard on this class, deservedly.
Who are you looking at in this class? Like, that's my franchise.
If Tennessee ends up having the number 1 pick in the draft, they're stoked because they don't quote unquote need a quarterback.
No,
I don't know where Cam Ward is as an NFL quarterback. I think that remains to be seen. That team is just so bad.
They need help literally
everywhere that you can kind of say we're good on a quarterback, but then
let's take the best player available.
What are the Jets going to do? What are the Saints going to do?
What are the Raiders going to do?
What are the Raiders going to do? Yeah, I mean, quarterbacks are going.
Somebody's going to take shots.
Quarterbacks are going.
I hope it's not my team.
Mendoza is going to get drafted in the top 5. Ty Simpson is going to get drafted in the top 5.
Rodgers might not get re-signed in Pittsburgh because he's got a broken left wrist.
He might also just call it.
Yeah.
I feel for Falcons fans.
I think you're
really do.
I think you're looking at a gap year, but you go and get the right coach, you go and get the right GM, and then you figure it out from there.
You can't punt on Michael Penix right now. And I'm not saying
I don't think you should punt on Penix, Bijan, Drake, or Pitts.
I don't think
unless you get an offer that is like
I don't think you're there yet. I don't think you're there yet. But
after
if you're
next year,
the new GM, because you have to put Penix out there. Yeah. Like when he gets healthy, you have to see what you have. Mm-hmm. It's an Anthony Richardson thing. That pick looks way worse than Michael Penix does
the
right
thing
now.
with Penix is like again, when Penix goes down, he's 13 of 16 for $175. He was dealing. Mm-hmm. He was dealing. Mm-hmm. Him and Drake London were cooking before he goes down.
And then what happens if you get rid of him and he turns out Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, ends up
Steph
making-
Curry, the ankles.
Oh,
making
yeah.
a giant comeback.
Glass, this kid's too small. He'll never make it. Oh, really? He's a top 10 player of all time.
Yeah. It's like he went through the first 3 years of his
Choke on
career
that.
with ankles that did not work, and he hasn't had an ankle injury since.
Yep.
Well, I mean, he has, but not like a
Not
significant.
not like he did his first few
Yeah.
years.
So, it's just one of those things like, is this.
Those ankle injuries helped them get Draymond Green and Klay Thompson.
Yeah. It worked in Harrison Barnes and, everything else that kind of came with that. So it's an interesting spot to be. Like, you don't
It's not
wanna,
a spot I want to be.
No, because you do have talent. Again, this isn't a Miami Dolphins team where you're like,
Is it?
Jalen Waddle? Sure, but
Isn't that the biggest punch to the gut when you look around and you're like, dude, I have a really good offense. I just need a quarterback. And they're like, dude, quarterbacks don't grow on trees.
But again, Penix is talented. It's health more than anything else.
We'll keep an eye on that and see how the rest of the season goes for the Falcons, but I'm sure you can write them off. Adios to that. When we come back, coming down from a big deficit, coming back, is that a good thing? Is that a motivating builder, or does that show you got some problems? We'll go to college football in the SEC next, but there's Casey with sports.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, some good news for Mariners fans is Josh Naylor has agreed to a 5-year contract, keeping him with the team on a $90 to $100 million contract. That'll all depend on his physical. Naylor is a lifetime .269 hitter with 104 home runs in his career. Over to the association as the Blazers fell short in an overtime nail-biter last night against the Mavs as they pulled away 138-133. The Blazers now sit at 9th in the Western Conference at 6-7, and they will host the Suns at the Moda Center tomorrow at 8 p.m. Monday Night Football is in Sin City as the Raiders host the Cowboys tonight at 5 p.m. inside of Legion Stadium. Some more NFL news for you as Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers suffered a left wrist injury in the first half of the Steelers' 34-12 win over Cincinnati. Ian Rappaport reports that Rodgers' likelihood of playing next Sunday against Chicago is 50-50. And your number 8 Ducks will face the number 17 ranked USC Trojans this Saturday at 12:30. College Game Day will be in attendance, but make sure to check out all the coverage with us right here on The Fan. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch. And now Window Nation
Coming up in 15 minutes, we'll get to everybody's favorite web gems. We do it every single day at 11:45. We're a heavy NFL show today, but that's all right. It just means more college leftovers for tomorrow. But I do want to address one college situation. 30-3 at halftime.
Over.
South Carolina absolutely boat racing A&M.
Stunting. Nick Hobb.
I watched that game and was like, what is going on?
Oh, Marcel Reed just peed down his leg in the first half. That's what happened.
You know what's crazy? And I know this sounds wild because it's kind of like hindsight, revisionist history. There was something about halftime coming out that I was like, Texas A&M's going to win this game. And I think a lot of it is because they were shooting themselves in the foot.
Mm-hmm.
Shane Beamer, like, rah-rahing on the sidelines like he just won a game at halftime. I mean, good for him. He's had a disastrous season, is probably going to get fired. But now you're definitely going to get fired. But there was just something about, and I don't know if it's Marcel Reed. We talked a little Heisman last hour. Something about Marcel Reed that I just really find captivating.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a little it in him.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And he put that on display. Look, they scored their second touchdown in the third quarter, and I went, oh, yeah, this game's over.
Somebody said he was Joy Reed in the first half, Marcel Reed in the second half. And I was like, that works. That's about right.
When you look at this for Texas A&M, you know, we've given Texas A&M a pretty big pass on the schedule situation.
Mm-hmm.
We've acknowledged it. I think everybody has acknowledged it, but we've also acknowledged that Texas A&M's a really good team. They went on the road to South Bend and beat a Notre Dame team who was reeling off a loss to Miami, but Notre Dame's going to the college football playoff and can provide some really serious challenges. And Texas A&M beat them on the road in a night game.
And they had 4 turnovers against South Carolina, and they win the game, which we just talked about with Seattle and Los Angeles in the NFL. You have 4 turnovers. You have no business winning a game. And yet they were able to do that.
Your quarterback has 2 interceptions and a fumble loss.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Yeah, Marcel Reed was bad in the first half. Like, he just forgot how to football in the first half. In the second half, he played like the best player in the country.
Is this something that we can look at Texas A&M and say, I mean, they came back from 30-3. This offense is good. Don't count them out of anything. Let's say when they take on Texas, let's say it's 14-0 at halftime. We sit there and go, they can do this.
They can, but here's the thing.
Or is this they did it because it was South Carolina?
Well, they did it because it was self-inflicted.
Just clean that up.
When you have those self-inflicted wounds over and over and over again, and a team capitalizes on it, which, again, going to the Seattle-LA game, LA didn't really capitalize on all of the chances that they had.
Right. South
Carolina did, and then Texas A&M played a perfect second half. They played a perfect second half. You didn't hear from Nick Harbor again.
Mm-mm.
You didn't. South Carolina didn't have the explosives. I mean, what A&M did in the second half, they blanked them.
3 touchdowns in the third quarter. Just came out and they had a game plan and they knew what they were going to do.
And credit to Elko too, because
big time.
Did you catch Elko at halftime?
No.
Oh man, it wasn't like it was disappointed dad. It was, he got asked, the physicalities. We got to be more physical. Like our run defense isn't there. Our the big plays they aren't there. Like, we're letting them capitalize on big plays, and he was just like, we've just got to be better. And it wasn't. This game's over. There was something about Elko going to the halftime in the interview. I was like, I don't think he's going to go in there and give the fire and brimstone speech. It was, you're better than this. I would love to see what the halftime speech was, because it definitely came out. It wasn't like the "you suck, how dare you."
Right.
They
the
came out,
red ass chewing.
They came out with like a confidence to them. To your point of like, there was just something about them, and like Indiana had the game against Penn State. You know what I mean? Like every team gets tested. Not everybody has their best every day. Stuff happens. How you deal with adversity matters.
Side note, I had to drop a disappointment on my kid this weekend.
Oh, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah.
How'd
that
go?
Well, his older sister berated him for peeing on the seat.
Oh.
And this is something we've been yelling at him for months and months and months. And I finally walked into his bedroom and I said, dude, like, you know the rules. This is part of being a man. And he was kind of like smiling. And I was like, do you think this is funny? And he was like, no, I just can't help it. And I was like, I just shook my head and I said, I'm so disappointed in you right now. Be better.
How'd you feel walking away?
Terrible. Especially because I heard the tears flowing behind me.
You're like, you can't turn around.
I know. And I didn't. And mom came in to the rescue. But it's true. Sometimes I'm disappointed goes far. And that was when he was going to bed. So he got to stew on that while he went to bed. Next morning he woke up, we're all good.
Mhm.
Everything's fine. But dude, got to be better than that. You can't be giving up 30 points in a half
To South Carolina.
to Lenora Sellers and Shane Beamer
Yeah.
and South Carolina.
And Sellers completed 50% of his passes. Like, he just couldn't do it. Who's a dynamic quarterback. He could not do anything in the second half.
He is the most sacked quarterback in college.
Yep,
football.
he is.
You
And,
gotta get
he's
home.
missed games.
Yeah.
You text me, holy Texas A&M.
Because I was sitting there watching it going, what is happening?
And my response to you was, well, sometimes money ruins you, because there were rumors out there that Elko got his 5-year deal.
Yeah.
Got his extension to be a top 5 or 6-year deal, I don't remember, to be a top 5 paid coach in college football. And I was like, be careful.
And then he went out there and earned it.
And then he went out there and earned it. Does this change your perception of Texas A&M in the SEC? Or does this give you a little bump? Does it give you a little concern?
I think if you can go out there and not play your best game and win, that says something about you.
Yeah.
There's the same thing with Indiana and Penn State.
Imagine if they played like that for 4 quarters.
Oh, this game, they would have hung 60 on them.
60 to zip.
They just would have embarrassed them.
Boy, the SEC is a weird place.
It is.
It
In
is
more ways than one.
It is a weird place. We'll get to Alabama in the big nooner.
Again, turnovers. Turnovers are what did teams in this weekend.
Everything is pretty much set, though, in the SEC in that sense. Like Alabama and South Carolina control their destiny, or Texas A&M control their destiny for the SEC championship. Look, we might have this conversation tomorrow. I think there's a good chance that Georgia's the best team in the nation, and they're going to get to sit out the SEC title game. Kirby, deep down inside,
Probably fine with that.
Probably fine with that. Yeah, I don't know what to do with the SEC, but can a game like this?
They're going to be a top
Heisman.
4 seed and not play in their conference title game.
Let me ask this question about Marcel Reed. We were talking about Heisman Trophy candidates.
He's a top 3.
Is this not something that makes you go, whoa? Or do you punish him because he had the bad first half? Or do you give him more benefit of the doubt because he plays in the SEC where it just matters more?
I think when you have a game where you throw for 440 and 3 touchdowns, despite you dribbling down your leg in the first half, I think it says more about you in the positive than it does the negative.
Because if King has a game like this, I think they hurt him.
They do. And
I think it hurts
and it
Haynes
shouldn't.
King.
It shouldn't.
Boy, I like Marcel Reed. Is
He's fun.
there talk on him in the NFL at
Yeah,
all?
for sure.
Yeah.
The inconsistency is the problem. But I think you can say that about pretty much every quarterback in the country that's draft eligible.
This is why I don't have an NFL team. Then I don't have to worry about my team and their quarterback.
This is why I'm sitting here as a Raiders fan saying, I'm good. Take
Don't
the
do
best
it.
player
Don't do
available.
it.
Don't take a quarterback.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'll live with the results. If Mendoza turns into,
What if they take Mensa in the second round?
wouldn't be against that. Second round, wouldn't be against that at all.
Yeah. It's better than taking Tyler Shuck in the second round.
Look, you take Mensa in the second round, I am behind that. I am 100% behind that.
Just thought I'd get your pants tight
Look,
for a moment.
that one, that one did. The shorts got a little, they started creeping up the leg a little bit.
All right, we come back. We'll do Web Gems, everybody's favorite. Funny enough, we'll stick here in the Texas A&M game, not for reasons that are good. Web Gems is next. 105.1 The Fan. All right, this is everybody's favorite Web Gems. Do it every single day at 11:45. Coming up on the Big Nooner, we'll swing back around to the Ducks as they took care of Minnesota. We'll start looking ahead to USC. Feels like the big game of the week, of the year almost. I bet you we have more fun with this game this week. Maybe because, I got you next to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like we'll have more fun with this game than we did the Indiana game. Although you love Indiana almost as much as you love your Trojans.
They're the team that I've watched the most outside of USC, for sure.
So we'll get to that in the Big Nooner. Also, we'll get back into some NFL stuff. The Eagles take down the Lions last night in a Sunday Night Football, which is starting to piss me off on Sunday Night Football. It's games that I'm expecting to be awesome or not awesome. And then we'll get back into the SEC as well. So a lot to get to on the Big Nooner. But today's Web Gems comes to you by way of, Texas A&M, as we were just there. I'm sure you all saw this. The Brian Bosworth wannabe cop from Dr. Pepper commercials.
Yes.
Dude, if for those of you that didn't see this, he's walking up the tunnel as South Carolina players are coming out.
Including Nick Harbor.
And he clearly goes in between of them and
flexes his shoulders
tries
out.
to check both of them. First question, bro, that is the most douchey cop thing you can think of. That is a big reason why cops have bad reputations. Because they think you think you're better than Nick Harbor?
You're there for him.
Yes, you are there to protect him.
He is not there for you.
The
only reason you have a job there, making that extra overtime money, is because he is playing football. Get the hell out of the way.
You are not worried about Texas A&M fans attacking Elko or Marcel Reed. You are worried about Texas A&M fans assaulting Harbor or Sellers or Beamer. You're right. That's what I'm saying. Your point is absolutely correct. The cop is there to protect players on the other team, honestly. Very often, even if, say, they lose that, I would be shocked if some fan came down and was sizing up Elko. Let's go, dude. I can't believe you cost us college football playoff, you bitch. Nobody's going to do that. To start stuff with another player, dude,
then to turn around and instead of being
jog?
my bad, you start telling him what he needs to do and get out of your way. Shut up and get out of the way. And to be totally honest, I'm a pro-cop guy. There was a time when I was going to be a cop. I went through the Clackamas County Sheriff stuff when I got out of the Air Force, and I was this close to doing it. And I was like, there's something here I don't like. Then I almost became a Border Patrol agent. And I got stuck in traffic on my way up to Seattle to go sign my paperwork. There was a traffic jam that had me stuck, didn't move for 5 hours.
Wow.
I wasn't going to make it on time. And I realized this 2 hours out. I left at 3 o'clock in the morning. I had to be there at noon. I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is not I'm out of my car.
Mm-hmm.
It's an Olympia, that turn where it turns into a complete nightmare.
I sure do.
There was a wreck there that was so bad. Traffic stopped for 6-7 hours. And I'm like, there's a good chance that I am not going to make it. I'm just not going to make it. So I call about an hour and a half, 2 hours out and I go, hey guys, I'm stuck in this traffic. Can I get some leeway here or can I reschedule? I had apparently the same cop that ran into these guys was the guy on the phone. He's like, I guess you should have planned better. I'm like, I left at 3 o'clock in the morning. My attitude flipped immediately. I started cussing this guy out, up, down, left, right, and center. How dare you? I gave myself basically 9 hours. I was going up there. I was going to go get some breakfast, make sure I was right next to the building, get in there probably an hour early. And then his attitude was so bad that once traffic cleared, I got off at the next stop, turned around and went home and said, screw this.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a part of this.
I also can't help, maybe because it's Texas and maybe it's the woke agenda in me. I can't help that it's a white cop on some black kids.
I mean,
I
that
can't
doesn't
help
look good.
I can't help but see it. I don't want to accuse anybody of anything, but boy, I see what my eyeballs show me.
Optics aren't great.
Optics are not great, and the worst part is that cop's not going to lose his job.
Well, the good news is they did throw him out
They did
immediately.
and he won't do games anymore.
Nope.
So that overtime bonus is gone. But that guy's still going to be a cop.
He's still a
It's
D-hole.
Texas.
Yeah, and it's come on, man. And he's probably an A&M guy.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
And there's probably
It's
some
a
A&M
cult.
guys that are like, oh, it is
It's
a full-on
cult.
cult. There's probably some guys like, good for you. And I'm like, no, man, you just, number one, I'm putting money on Nick Harbor.
That guy might kill you, yeah.
That dude is the freakiest freak in all of college
one of them.
football. He is just an absolute monster. But what are you doing?
Yeah.
What if you haven't seen the clip, go watch the clip so you can just be irritated at this cop because it's what?
Also, do you really need to walk up the tunnel at that moment? Could you not just wait for them?
Step to the side.
Yeah,
man.
could you not just wait for them to come down?
You were there for them. Protect and serve.
It's also
Emphasis
the
on
fact that
serve.
he just points them out after bumping into them. Like,
Instead
And
of
you
going,
watch his
my
arms
bad.
and he,
Oh,
like-
he flexes out on him. It's
Yeah.
like he tried to big boy these kids.
and he does the why I oughta finger.
Yeah.
Like it's just awful.
Get out of the way. Get out of the way, you complete douche.
It's an ugly scene in college football too. It's just not needed. And I bet you him and his boys are like,
I showed them.
I showed them. That's why A&M came back and won. No, man, they came back and won because Marcel Reed is a legit quarterback, not because of your dumbass.
Unreal. I'm literally watching this back. He does. He literally
He
checks
throws
one
both
of the
his
guys
arms
out of the way. Like
he like broads his arms out, like elbows out, sort of thing, and then like
what's funny
pushes.
is what 27 for South Carolina tries to walk around him and he sticks his elbow
Yeah.
out into him
Yeah.
and then starts flexing. And Nick Harbor just hits him with a, what are you doing?
yeah, because you can tell.
Oscar Attaway is the running back for South Carolina.
27? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, because the running back actually does, like, to be clear, if you guys haven't seen the clip, nobody, like, tries to run over the cop. Like, Attaway tries to get
He moves
out of the way.
He turns his shoulders horizontal
Yeah.
so this cop can get by him.
So the kids did all the things right. You've got a grown man acting like a child.
I don't know if I've ever been in a situation where I needed a cop at a football game.
It's so dumb.
I one time saw Tony Bennett rip off his jacket, Wazoo, against, who were we playing? It was Montgomery, but I can't remember if he was at Stanford or Cal at the time. And Bennett ripped off his jacket in a college basketball game and started charging towards the bench of the other team. And a bunch of cops came in to break it up because they were going to break up a coach-on-coach fight. Outside of that, I don't know. Why do we have cops at these games? Is security not enough?
When you have that many people, you have to.
Yeah, because
It's just that many people.
just because College Station is that massive.
I mean, just in general, if you have this many people, you're mandated to have.
What's that stadium seat? Is it 100,000?
I don't think it's that big, but it is big.
Is it the biggest in the E SEC?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let's see. Stadium capacity.
Because Horseshoe is about 100,000.
Kyle Field. No, Kyle Field is 100,000.
That's what I thought.
102,000. Good God.
It's a lot of peeps,
I
man.
knew Kyle was big, but I thought it was under 100. But yeah, it's 102. It's
That's a lot of space, man.
a lot of cult.
It
a
just
lot-
means more,
It's
man.
a lot of cult.
It just means more.
And that's cult with a U, not Colt McCoy.
Do you think it would be fun to indoctrinate yourself into that? Like if you just didn't know, ignorance is bliss.
I mean, isn't that what a cult is?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You just don't know.
But would you I'd rather be in a cult of college football than in like some
Manson. Yeah.
religious cult,
Yeah, no. That's
some cannibalistic cult.
Kyle Field is the largest SEC football stadium.
Do you have who's number 2?
Right behind is Tennessee
Ooh.
Neyland
yeah,
Stadium.
I would have said Tennessee.
is 101,915.
Oh, that's over a hundo too.
Oh yeah, no, Neyland's huge.
So our
Kyle Field's bigger
100,000
than that,
so our
man.
100,000 stadiums in college football are Kyle, Neyland, the Shoe.
Big house.
His
Tiger,
big
Tiger Stadium. It's Kyle Field, Tiger Stadium, Neyland Stadium, Tennessee, and then Bryant Denny in Alabama.
Those are your
Brian
biggest
Denny's
SEC.
100,000, huh?
Yeah, it sets. It looks like it has the record for 101,821.
Wow. I didn't know that was that
Because
big.
Penn State's, when it's fully built up, is 107 or 108.
Whoa.
Shoes like 104. The big house is like 103, I think, something like that.
Estadio Azteca in Mexico City is like 110.
Those stadiums are the
That
biggest
place is
stadiums
huge.
in the continental U.S.
Yeah, yeah. I think Estadio Azteca in Mexico City is the largest in the world.
It's up there.
I think
It's,
it's the
it's
largest in the
also at like 8,000 feet.
God, I want to go to that stadium so
Because
bad.
it's like at the top. Like Mexico
Yeah.
City is basically built on top of a mountain. And that stadium is basically at the top of that mountain.
All right, let's get into the big nooner. We'll take another sneak peek. We'll slide back into the Ducks as they look ahead to take on USC. A great defense versus a great offense. Who going to bust? And what is Danny going to bet Dirt Johnson about this game? Huh? We'll do that next. Loaded final hour. Thanks for sticking with us. We'll finish her up. 105.1 The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, some good news for Mariners fans as Josh Naylor has agreed to a 5-year contract, keeping him with the team on a $90 to $100 million contract. That'll all be depending on his physical, and Naylor is a lifetime .269 hitter with 104 home runs over his career. Over to the association as the Blazers fell short in an overtime nail-biter last night against the Mavs. As the Mavs pulled away 138-133, the Blazers now sit at 9th in the Western Conference at 6-7 and will go on to host the Suns at the Moda Center tomorrow at 8 p.m. Monday Night Football is in Sin City as the Raiders host the Cowboys tonight at 5 p.m. inside Allegiant Stadium. Some more NFL news for you as Michael Penix has been placed on injured reserve. Penix sustained a knee injury in Atlanta's overtime loss to Carolina, and he will be sidelined for at least 4 of the remaining 7 games on the Falcons' schedule. Your number 8 Ducks will face off against the number 17 ranked USC Trojans this Saturday at 12:30. College Game Day will be in attendance, but make sure to check out all of the coverage with us here right on the Fan. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of dirt and spray. Weekday mornings 6 to 10 a.m. The
All right, 2 down, 1 to go here. Firm of Harris and Meringue. Patrick Harris with you. Danny Meringue to my left. Coming up after us, we'll send you over to Ducks Insider from 1 to 2. Recap the win against Minnesota. Probably talk about some volleyball or something else like that. Then it's the Fan Happy Hour with Luke Anderson from 2 to 3. And then, well, baby, you guessed it, it's prime time. From 3 to 7 to take you all the way home, finishing up 13 hours of live, local, continuous, regional sports talk radio right here on the Fan Sports Network, Portland sports leader. I think we have Ducks basketball game tonight as well on the Fan against Oregon State. I haven't seen Ducks basketball yet.
I haven't watched them. I saw just a couple clips from them. But
Dana's usually got a good, solid squad going.
he does better when he's got like the chip on his shoulder, guys. That's when he seems to do his best work.
My only question with Dana Altman, not to turn this into a Dana Altman segment, is when he's going to hang it up. Because he feels, sometimes when I watch him and listen to him, he feels real burned out by NIL.
There were some rumors last year and the year before, but
that he
we'll
just
see where it goes.
Doesn't really care for the landscape of college basketball. And I don't blame him, dude.
No.
I don't blame him.
It's a different world.
For the old guard, only like Calipari is really built for this. Mostly because, well,
he's a sicko.
he's been doing it already. He had the best leg up in NIL than anybody in any
and Patino.
sport. Him and Patino. No wonder they're doing well right now. The only old guys in college sports, period, that are handling NIL well.
Where it literally didn't change for them.
Is Calipari and Patino. They're just like, oh, we do this legit now.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
We just bag men become front men.
Yeah. I love this.
It's probably easier and cheaper for them because they don't have to run it through so many channels.
It probably is. It probably is. I wouldn't be shocked if they asked them how to build NIL.
Yeah.
Cut out a few middlemen here.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Let me show you. I'll teach you guys. Gather around, children. Back in my day.
Grandpa's got a story to tell you.
Back in my day. Also, we're making a Final Four run this year at Arkansas and St. John's.
It's like, wait,
not
what?
Louisville and Kentucky.
No.
Not Kentucky. Arkansas.
UNC? No.
Nah, those has-beens. Hubie Davis is getting fired.
Yeah.
Come to Arkansas. The Johnnies in New York.
Good little program.
Good little program. Speaking of good little programs, we got the look ahead here as maybe one of the biggest games of the year. Dude, this is funny to think about from an Oregon perspective. This is their 3rd giant game of the year, 4th giant game of the year. And I know we hype it up because we're in the area and we
Penn
are
State,
home of the
Indiana,
Ducks.
Iowa, USC.
Yeah. This is their 4th big game of the year. Now we can sit here and argue about whether Penn State's still a good win or not. I'm kind of a little over that argument. And Iowa is now out of the top 25. Do you think that's not a quality win for Oregon anymore?
No, the
Do you
SP
think
Plus
that's
has
not
the
a
20th.
Do you think that's not a quality win for USC?
No.
Okay, that's
we talked
why,
about this 2 weeks
That's
ago.
why I don't want to talk about this Penn State thing.
I mean,
Where's Penn State and SP Plus?
where were they?
Go look at it.
Weren't they like 12th or something like that?
I just saw it. 19th.
19th. There you go.
19th.
Iowa's 12th, I think. I don't think that Penn State win is as good, but that's where I'm at. But Iowa, the only reason that they're 6-4 with their 4 losses, and they were all close games to good teams.
Mm-hmm. I think the biggest concern that I have if I'm a USC fan going into this Oregon game is the beginning start against USC or against Iowa.
Yeah.
I mean,
Same thing with Notre Dame.
We talked about it with Texas A&M last hour about how impressive it is that they came back, and I don't want to have a double standard on USC by any means in this aspect, but
But it's more fun.
It was a lot more concerning USC going down 21-0 than it was 30-3 against South Carolina. And I think it's because Iowa is such a better team than South Carolina is.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of mentioned previously, once I saw A&M start to throw the ball in the second half, I was like, "Oh, this ain't going to be pretty for South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to hurt. This is going to hurt to lose that game."
And that's what USC did with Maava.
But USC, on a different standpoint, you're kind of like, okay, all right, this is impressive, but I'm very concerned about how it started because the game conditions could be kind of similar against Oregon. And Oregon is going to try to play a little bit. Oregon's brand right now is a little bit Iowa.
Yeah, it's Iowa on steroids.
And they might, it's Iowa on steroids with a real quarterback and real wide receivers, which is kind of a weird thing to say because then it's not really Iowa on steroids. Then it's just a complete good team.
Yeah.
But when Oregon does what Oregon wants to, like from the start of a game, it is physical up front. It's give Davison, Whittington, Hill the ball, establish the run. We'll get to play action, and Dante can make a throw. The way the Iowa game started for USC makes me think that could put USC in trouble early.
They have been slow starters. It happened against Illinois, and it happened against Notre Dame, and it happened against Iowa. That has been their bugaboo for them to battle.
I think one of the scariest things, though, if you're an Oregon fan, is if you push USC up against the wall and they're behind by 2 scores and Maava's got to start throwing the football, that's when USC shines. That's how they came back against Iowa, and you could argue that's because they didn't do that. That's why they lost to Notre Dame. And
it took them until the second half to go. I told you coming in after that game, I was screaming. Like I like Lincoln Riley for the most part. And I like what they're trying to do. They're trying to be more physical. They're trying to run the ball, and they ran the ball okay against Iowa. Iowa's got a really good rush defense. Oregon obviously is a better running attack than USC. There's no doubt about that. But if you go look at where USC's running attack ranks in the country, they're up there. They're a good running team. But their superpower is that they have Jaden Maava, Makai Lemon, and Jacoby Lane. And teams just can't deal with that. When USC started to put it on Notre Dame, it was because Maava just started going, "Hey, Makai Lemon, go get it, dog." And he did over and like Notre Dame's got a great defense. Iowa's got a great defense. You can't cover these guys.
No. And especially, I mean, that's the biggest key. And we'll have Tyson Alger on Wednesday, as we always do, at 10:30. And when we start talking about this game, that's the first question I'm going to ask, because outside of Bryce Betcher, that's a young crew back there. That's a really young crew. Now, they've been very, very good for Oregon.
Well, you get Thieneman on the back end, who's a complete stud.
There are some guys there, but there's a lot of youth in that secondary for Oregon. And that's the question that I'm going to want to see. Can they contain? Because you're not going to stop Lemon. No. You're not. The dude's going to get his balls. He's going to get his yards. He's going to have a touchdown.
He's one of the best contested catch guys in the entire NFL, the entirety of college football.
But can you contain him? Because like I said, if Oregon goes out there, I could very much see this scenario. Oregon jumps out to a 14-3 lead.
It's a ball control, and they go, "We're just not going to let you have possessions."
Nope. We're going to run. We're going to push you up front. The D-line and the linebackers are watching good schemes from the Oregon defense, and the Oregon offense just run the ball. And Davison has a breakaway, okay? It's 14-3 at halftime. Now USC is looking, they got to throw the football, and that could be where you live dangerously. Because Maava has been very, very efficient, and he's not going to throw, I don't expect him to throw a bunch of picks.
No.
But if you're...
For a couple weeks ago, he had 3 straight weeks of throwing a pick, and outside of, and they were weird picks. They were just like he forgot how to throw the ball type picks. And if you watched him, you're like, what's going on here? But for USC, Oregon's one time that they played a passing attack with a quarterback and wide receivers, Indiana. What happened?
They struggled.
And this is going to be a better version of that.
Is USC's offensive line as good as Indiana's? Because I think that's the difference maker.
They're more well-rounded, but they're not as deep. If they suffer an injury or they have to sit there and let's say they try to do the thing where they try to run the ball again to try to show how physical they are, that's where I get a little dicey because I think Indiana's. Because remember the talk about that going to that game was Iowa's right tackle's not that good, or Indiana's right tackle's not that good. And what ended up happening?
He dominated for 4 quarters.
So that's the thing is like when I talk about the disruptive plays for Oregon or lack thereof, that's where I wonder it can because if Oregon can be disruptive and get USC off rhythm, they'll win the game. They will but if you let Maiyava stand back there and you let Makai Lemon route you up, you can call me a homer all you want. If you let Maiyava stand back there,
we don't have to call you a homer. You are. It's okay.
But if you let Maiyava stand back there and you let Lemon route you up, they're gonna carve you.
I think you're right. I think that's the only way Oregon wins the game is if they get him off of his method, off of his system.
Well, let's not forget about this. When you look at metrics and stuff, and I think the storyline of the game is USC's offense versus Oregon's defense.
Yes,
that's where the clash of the Titans are. Highly ranked on that side of the ball for each.
But how does Oregon's offense look against USC's
That's
defense?
the question because the gap between that is a lot larger in Oregon's favor than the gap between offense and defense compared to USC and Oregon respectively. And that could be where the problem. If Dante Moore can go out there and throw the rock around, not like he did against Rutgers or Northwestern or Minnesota, but if he can get into a little bit of a rhythm, then that could be the underlying story of the Ducks that would concern me. To the texter that asked the question, if you had to put money on Oregon losing this week against USC or next week at UW, it is easily this week. Yeah. I think the Huskies are toast. They'll win this week because they play UCLA, but maybe not. I don't know. Jetfish.
They did lose to Wisconsin.
They did lose to Wisconsin. I'm completely out on the UW Huskies. I was in on them at the beginning of the year. If they beat UCLA, then they still hit the over. So kudos to them. But I have no fear of UW at all. When we come back, we'll stay in college football and head down to the SEC. But I do want to take some time and read some of your texts on the fan text line 503-864-6326 of Oregon's big matchup that you can catch right here on the Fan against USC this Saturday at 12:30. We'll stay in college football next. 105.1 The Fan. (503-864-6326). That's the fan text line, 503-864-6326. We're going to call an audible. We're going to stick here in the USC-Oregon game looking ahead, but I did want to read some of your texts about the conversation we just had. I mean, boy, is this not the truth. If Iowa was in the SEC and their 3 conference losses were Bama, Georgia, and Vandy, they're still ranked. Amen, brother. Preach. That Iowa team might be the best 6-4 team I've ever seen in my life. I don't know who they have this next week, but I hope they boat race them and get to 7.
If you are a team that sees Iowa in a bowl game and they're like a 6-win team, you're sitting there going, "Oh crap, we got Iowa."
We're being told you got to apologize to Gunnar Stockton.
Look, he's just not my Huckleberry. It's not that he's not good.
We'll talk about that game tomorrow.
just-
We'll get into that tomorrow.
Look, I had this. I don't know. We had this conversation. Wright Galloway, who works at K2, he played at Georgia. He had a bet with a Texas guy at the station.
Sick 'em.
They had a bet, or Wright, if Georgia lost again, Wright played at Georgia.
Sure.
He showed up and he brought me his Capital One bowl game jersey from Georgia, and he goes, "I'm going to have him wear this on Monday." And I just saw the picture posted of him having to wear it, and Wright threw up the horns down in the photo. So shout out to Wright.
That's a hate crime in Texas.
Yeah, well,
It's a hate crime.
throw him down, baby.
This other text: if USC gets down 14-3 because they can't stop the run, they can try to start throwing the ball, but they'll always have a score down, as Oregon will take time and go down and score a touchdown after touchdown running the ball. I mean,
You better hope that happens.
you better hope that happens, and I think there is a good chance that does happen. I mean, this is a run-first team.
It is. That is their identity.
And that is their identity. And Dante, Matt Stafford can be a game manager in the NFL, but heaven forbid Dante Moore can be a game manager in college football. And that's kind of what he's done of late. I think the Indiana game was a little bit of a wake-up call for him that I got to kind of slow down maybe. And you've seen him kind of do that, of just take what's coming and stop trying to push the ball unless he's really needed
Look,
to.
I don't think USC is going to win. I don't.
Wow, you heard it here.
But screw around and find out.
Easy ride, easy ride.
Just saying, do not let that, if you let that USC offense get going, you will hate it.
Keep an eye on the weather this weekend for the Oregon-USC football game. True. It's going to be cold.
Yeah.
Might rain afterwards.
I just saw Jaden Mayava throw what he did in a swamp.
I think I am told that it is going to be okay, but after the game could be a little spicy weather-wise. I don't think USC's too worried about that. This other texter: Minnesota has a better defense than USC. Why do we not think Dante can't do the same thing that he did against Minnesota? We cannot count the Wisconsin or Iowa game that was played in torrential downpour, especially since Oregon just said, nope, we'll run the ball and call it a day. USC didn't do that.
You can't count the Iowa game. Did we not see what the field was at USC? Stop it right now, Duck fan. Don't give me that. USC played in a swamp.
It was really gross. It was not a fun game to
No.
watch.
I
I
going
almost
to agree that Minnesota's defense is better than USC's.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so either.
Now, USC does not have depth. That is their biggest issue on the defensive side of the ball, because they've been dinged up in the secondary for most of the year, and the guys behind them, they just aren't dudes. Like that's why I picked USC to win 8 games this year.
Mm-hmm.
I will say,
And they're on that doorstep.
Yeah, they're at 8 games.
USC does have a solid outside linebacker in Eric Gentry, who has 5 forced fumbles on the year. He's a game wrecker.
He's
At any moment,
6'6",
he could
almost
be
6'7", and like throwing over him is always funny watching teams, because nobody in football is that big.
Yep.
He's just so long and rangy. Watching quarterbacks try to throw over him is always funny, because you see him like getting ready to throw the ball underneath, and they go from gunning it to going, I gotta float this over the top, and then you see Gentry like get tip passes, to get deflections. The interception from Jakeem Stewart, Thanos, my God, what a play. That you want to talk about a game wrecker? That dude has made plays. He's a true freshman. He was a 5-star, an absolute monster. Like, that's the thing, is USC has a couple of guys that are monsters. Where they don't have them, it is exposed. And that's where Oregon's defense, there's no guy to go pick on.
No.
Where USC,
No, there isn't.
There's 2 guys in the secondary you can go pick on, which is why you go look at the recruiting class coming into next year. It's loaded with D linemen and cornerbacks.
Is this the first game in all of college football that's a win and get in?
Yes. This is a college football play-in game.
Did Oklahoma win and get in?
Maybe. Don't they have another game, though?
I'm sure they do.
They've got Missouri this week. I thought they finished with somebody. Yeah. Oh no, it's LSU. We thought about it earlier in the season.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
So maybe that, and we'll get to that game here.
But
in a
Missouri,
moment.
LSU, those aren't like easy games.
But that's why, for those of you out there that are like, I don't think Autzen should have game day. Well, my friends, this is a play-in game. This is a win and get in game. I'm interested. I'm very fascinated that you think Oregon could lose this game and still be in.
I do. I think that if Oregon finishes with three losses, or with 2 losses, and your losses are to Indiana and USC, who are 2 of the best offenses in the entire country.
But they'd be both at home.
They would both be at home. It depends on the score. Because again, if USC wins, I think it'll be very similar to the Indiana game. I think it'd be like 31-23.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I think
close
this would
in the
end
fourth game, and then someone pulls away.
Yep,
fourth quarter. I mean,
USC. Makai Lemon makes a big play. King Miller makes a big play. Jacoby Lane makes a big play. Somebody makes a big play with 4 minutes to go, 3 minutes to go, whatever it is, and USC bends but doesn't break. Where Oregon has to score a touchdown. You know what I mean? That's how I think USC wins this game. I don't expect USC to win. And if they do, it's going to be a 1-score game.
I'm interested in the approach from old Will Stein in the offense in this game.
I'm not, because if they don't run the ball, they're out of their minds.
Well, yeah, but I mean, yeah, I guess that's true. I don't want to say the same old adage of run the ball, control the clock, limit possessions, blah 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 blah.
Take the Notre Dame game plan.
Of course, we all know that. If every team wants to run the ball, limit possessions, and run the clock down, everybody wants to do that. But I'm curious the little nuances. Oregon. I don't know if you caught this, but I didn't catch it on TV. But I was talking with the brand man about it. That Oregon had flopped their guards.
Mm-hmm.
The left guard and right guard, they flopped them because they were getting kind of worked on the right side, and said, we'll give up a little bit on the left to be stronger on the right. And I'm curious if that was something just for Minnesota, or if that was the wake-up call of we need to do this throughout the year.
Well, not only that.
If that solidifies that O-line even more so.
That's also where Jakeem Stewart lines up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so it's a test.
I don't know, but that's Jakeem Stewart's on that side. So...
Yeah,
and when you see that guy get off the bus, he is the first guy you push off the bus.
We'll ask Tyson Alger on Wednesday this question: which Oregon department needs to have their best game? I know we just talked about it, and this literally just popped in my brain. The USC department that needs to have the best game is the D-line.
Yes,
I think so.
I'm
talking myself into this. I'm talking myself out of USC's offense versus Oregon's defense, and I'm talking myself in to Oregon's offense versus USC's defense.
Yeah, I'm
on the other side of the fence. I'm talking myself into Oregon's defense versus USC's offense, because you take a look at Brandon Finney, the corner for Oregon.
Mm-hmm. I love Finney.
As of November, he had a reception rate of less than 25%. So if you're throwing the ball 4 times to his side, you may get 1 catch out of there. Mm-hmm. So I think that'll be a really good matchup. Just Lemon and Stewart versus Brandon Finney.
No.
To the texter asking, has the Oregon Ducks really overlooked anybody this year? No. Nope.
I don't think they overlooked anybody.
That's not how Lanning operates.
I think they came in with the right attitude against Iowa. I think they came in with the right attitude against Indiana, and I think they came up Lanning at halftime against Penn State. Maybe overlooked a little bit there. That's probably the closest they got.
Well, and I think
he almost Kirk Ferentz it.
I think one of the great positives about Dan Lanning that we're seeing this year of his development and his adaptation, his advancement, whatever you want to call it as a head coach, is he's not overlooking teams, he's not underlooking teams, he's almost looking at them.
Yeah, he's coming correct.
If you follow,
he's coming correct.
He's looking at them and saying, "What do you do?"
Like, I haven't thought that. I don't
you?
think they're looking forward to past any opponent.
I don't think so either. I think he looks at him and says, "What do you do?"
Yeah.
And maybe we adapt our game plan to what you do, just to see. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be interesting to get in the mind of Dan Lanning. Although the mind of Dan Lanning sounds like a really scary place to be. The mind of Lincoln Riley is like throwing touchdowns and banging,
on that
moms.
Note, on that note, did you see Lincoln Riley when they won that game?
That's the most emotion I've seen from him at USC.
Yes.
And I think it's because, to the point, like I said,
he realized how much it mattered.
I almost turned that game off because I saw the Kirk Ferentz interview in the tunnel at halftime. And in the nicest old man Big Ten Kirk Ferentz way, he was like,
he hit the Vince Carter, it's over.
We beat that ass. And we going to dry out for a second and we going to beat that ass again. And
then Jacoby Lane and Mekhi Lemon happened.
yeah, exactly. And for Lincoln to show that, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
And Dan's been that guy the entire time he's been
Lincoln
at
is
Oregon.
usually the stale face,
Very much so.
Saltine cracker, Bill Belichick. He was not that after that game.
But you can also see, like, you're in LA. Look across the street. Look at Sean McVay. He is a very studious, no mess around, no BS guy.
But when they make big plays, when they
Boom,
have big wins,
he
that
pops.
dude, he's going.
He pops. Pete Carroll's that way too.
Oh, well, Pete's
Pete's a little looser.
a little looser.
Pete's a little loose.
Yeah.
Just trying to think. And when you're in LA, you got to be LA.
You gotta-
Matt Leinart went to the Oscars because he's LA.
yeah, you sprinkle some Showtime on it.
Yeah. Well, we'll take a look at this game all week. It'll be a ton of fun. Little birdies on the street say that P. Harris might make an appearance at this game.
I'm 100% going to be down there.
Might make an appearance at this game. Got to clear it with the wife first. She got to be on kid duty all weekend if I go. That's not very fun. Also, I don't know what I'd wear. Like if it's raining, I have a ball of rain jacket, but it's just pure crimson. It's got the little crest right there. On
You might get confused in enemy territory.
Last time I was at Autzen was Oregon UW, and I came rocked out in a Wazoo sweatshirt. I have a picture of me and Dusty Hara.
There you go.
And ran into him in the parking lot. And he was like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "Trolling Husky fans." And I walked by so many Husky fans. They were like, "Whoa, dude, what are you doing here?" And I was like, "Shut up. F the Huskies." And the guy was like, "Look, hey, man, like, that's not cool."
Yeah, well.
And I was like, "Shut up, loser. You remember the time you went 0-12?
Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy?
Yeah, wouldn't you like to know? All right, we'll stick at college football. Let's run down. We asked that question, is this the first college football play-in game of the week? Well, Oklahoma might have something to say with that as Bama goes down. We'll head back down to the SEC, a little more college football, then we'll do closing arguments and send you on your way. That guy over there, that's Casey Smith with sports.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This sports update is brought to you by Grand Central Bowl Arcade and Sports Bar, your Ducks game day headquarters in Portland. First on the Fan, some good news for Mariners fans as Josh Naylor has agreed to a 5-year contract that will keep him with the team on a $90 to $100 million contract, depending on his physical. Naylor is a lifetime .269 hitter with 104 home runs over his career. Over to the association as the Blazers fell short in an overtime nail-biter last night as the Mavs pulled away 138-133. They currently sit at 9th in the Western Conference at 6-7 and will host the Suns at the Moda Center tomorrow at 8 p.m. Monday Night Football is in Sin City as the Raiders host the Cowboys tonight at 5 p.m. inside of Allegiant Stadium. Some more NFL news for you as Michael Penix Jr. has been placed on injured reserve. Penix sustained a knee injury in Atlanta's overtime loss to Carolina, and he will be sidelined for at least 4 of the 7 remaining games on the Falcons' schedule. Your number 8 Ducks will face off against the number 17th ranked USC Trojans this Saturday at 12:30. College Game Day will be in attendance, but make sure to check out all the coverage right here with us on The Fan. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom, call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of Ducks Game Day, before and after
Danny and I realizing that Thanksgiving is next week.
Yeah. Why is that next week?
This year flew, dude.
Good God, dude.
I don't know. Do we say that every year? Is that like Casey? You can check me on this. Is it just an old person thing to say? They're like, man, this year sure flew by.
No, this year really did fly by. Like, I kind of still think it's September a little bit.
Is it because the state of the world is so effed that we have no idea what's going on?
Yeah, it could be.
I always, because my birthday's October 18th. I always that's like the sign of like,
Happy late birthday.
oh, thank you. It's like it's we're there. Like we're in the final. We're in the fourth quarter of the season. You know what I mean? Like the fourth quarter of the year. It's like,
yeah, but it's the fourth quarter of the year and I'm down by 20.
you got a Texas A&M this thing, baby.
That's how I feel right
A
now.
lot of game left.
Yeah, got a Marcel Reed. You got to pull yourself up.
A lot of football in our future.
Mm-hmm.
Down in the SEC, things have become wild. And let's, whether we like it or not.
Boy, did I have 2 games backwards this weekend.
Yeah, no kidding. I was
thought,
right.
Yeah, I thought Texas would show up a little bit more, and I thought Alabama would handle business, but Alabama did the A&M. Except for
they did it at the wrong time.
They didn't recover.
Yep, they did it at the wrong time. Yeah, very interesting game. Oklahoma jumps out to a quick 10-0 lead. Or was it 17-0 when Alabama started? I can't remember when the touchdown was scored. But once Alabama brought it 17-14, I'm sitting there going, end of third quarter is 21-13. Sorry, 21-20. And at that moment, I'm thinking to myself, Bama's got this closed out. This will be fine. But to your point,
Turnovers.
And it's not DeBoer's fault, but boy, they're going to put it on DeBoer.
Like Ty Simpson was good. Simpson was good in this game.
28 of 42, 326, a ton and a pick.
But fumbling a pick. Because Mateer was nowhere to be found.
Dude, he is such a struggle right now, man. Like, Oklahoma, I think Oklahoma just got into the playoff. I think so. And that's the unfortunate necessity of the SEC is that they are the litmus test. They are the gold standard for what the committee and my eyeball test says, whether you like it or not. And Oklahoma just stole an at-large bid from somebody.
Probably. Now
You're looking at a Miami. Hell,
they could slip up.
If Oregon loses to USC, Oklahoma might have taken their spot.
But Oklahoma, they finished with Missouri and LSU, and they should and will be favored in those games. Boy, I'm kind of rooting for Missouri. I'm rooting for Missouri.
You want? Is it because you want Oklahoma out of this situation?
I don't trust them.
Yeah.
Great win. But I just don't trust them.
Oklahoma on the road at Oregon in a playoff game. I'll hammer Oregon.
Yeah, I'll take Oregon the points right now. No doubt even knowing the points.
I will. I might go down to that game though in Rock Wazoo gear and root for my boy Mateer.
There you go.
But he's going to have a rough day.
Yeah.
That's what's interesting about this. And great win for Oklahoma, great win for Venables. I mean, Venables could finish the year 10-2 in a playoff. I don't think anybody had that at the beginning of the year.
No.
And Oklahoma feels like they're on the right path. Now, I don't know what they do next year at quarterback. I don't know what the offense looks like going forward for Oklahoma. That defense showed up as well. Ty Simpson is a Heisman candidate, no doubt about it. And the Oklahoma defense gave him fits. They stopped. And I heard,
the kid Kip Lewis showed up big time.
And I heard Saban say this on game day, and boy, was he absolutely right. Alabama has a run the ball problem.
They've had it. So they lose Jam Miller, and that seemed to be like is this going to be the thing for them? But it's like, well, if your entire running game is based around Jam Miller, that's maybe a bigger problem for you because Alabama's had some great offensive linemen over the last, 10, 12 years?
20 years, damn near.
But this year they don't. They don't have Chance Womack was there. Who they have the tackle they were supposed to have this year was supposed to be a monster, Proctor. And it's like they just haven't had the dudes that they typically have, just this mauling offensive line. They haven't been able to run the ball all that well this year to begin with.
And it's kind of bit him in the arse every single time, and that's why Ty Simpson, I think, has been as impressive as he has been because he is carrying Alabama without a run game and a traditional Alabama offensive line. Now, I think 95% of the country would kill to have Alabama's offensive line, but that doesn't work in the SEC, and that doesn't work when you got the A on the helmet.
Not only that, Ryan Williams, who was supposed to be one of the best players in the country, has not been that guy for them this year. Don't get me wrong, he's been good, but we aren't talking about
where's my Devonta, my Jerry Jeudy, my
this is the guy that was coming into the season.
My Amari Cooper.
Jeremiah Smith was the wide receiver. Remember, Ryan Williams also on that cover of College Football.
That's true.
He has not been there and been that guy this year. Now, he's been dinged up, so I don't want to be too critical of him, but
we're able to give Jeremiah Smith a pass, even though because Julian Sayin isn't.
Meanwhile, Ty Simpson
is the other way around.
Better quarterback as far as like what the ask is.
Casey.
And what I was going to get, has the landscape of college football kind of changed Alabama's identity as a program? Because I think over the last 4 or 5 years, they really haven't been the same Alabama team that we saw win national championships, beat Texas.
I think
and beat Georgia.
I think you bring up a good point. And we talk about this, them and Georgia are the poster child of the NIL world and why it's succeeding. Because they can't, what everybody says, they can't stash 5-star recruits anymore. I think so. I think the landscape has changed, and it's kind of a big reason why Saban's not in this anymore and why I don't think he's coming back.
And it was trending this way before
the year
Kalen took over.
The year he left, that you could argue that team was maybe one of the worst Bama teams Saban had.
Agreed.
And I don't want to say that he left them with the cupboard dry.
Because that wasn't the case.
Because they're still Alabama and they can still do whatever the hell they want. But Saban sees it. He goes, ooh, my game plans aren't quite working anymore. Because this is a Dan Lanning sort of game now. This is a young man's game. Braum, those kind of guys, those are the kind of coaches that are really succeeding. Now, you do have your outliers in Curt Cignetti. And Kirby's going through these lumps. I think he has a very, very good team this year at Georgia, if not maybe, for my money, maybe the best team in college football. But we'll see if he can continue this year after year. And that's why Bama fans need to be a little hesitant if you're going to start slamming DeBoer. I am not a DeBoer guy. I think he kind of fails upwards a little bit. That's just kind of my opinion.
I'm on the other side of that.
But he does get to big games, and he wins big games, and I can't deny that.
He is now, 16-2 against the top 25 as a head coach?
But it's not just that he has the hardest job in the history of college football, and that is replacing Nick Saban. But it's also, I don't think, to Casey's point, I don't think you can hold Alabama to that standard anymore.
Nobody
I don't
can be
think
held
you
to
can
that
hold
standard.
anybody to that. Ohio State can win a national championship this year. And so help me God, if they don't make the playoff next year, if someone starts screaming for Ryan Day's job
with two
or what's
natties
broken at Ohio State, I will come through this microphone and slap you.
But that's more in Ohio State's identity, though.
You're not wrong.
Boom.
You're not wrong. In that point,
That's a good one.
I hate that we don't have the at the end of that every time.
It's an old job. I'll get a new one. I'll fix it.
But as a point to bring up here, looking at the recruiting classes going forward, as far as is Bama falling back? Can Kalen DeBoer recruit the same as Nick Saban? All those things that kind of go along with that. USC is number 1 in the recruiting class next year. Georgia's 2. Guess who's 3? Bama. It's Bama, and Bama has 5 stars. They have 7 of the top 100 players in the country.
They're going to be just fine, but I think Casey's got a great point, though. That the standard has to change for everybody. It really does, and
and they went into Georgia and stole a lot of those recruits.
As much as he can drive us all crazy, but I think that's what Dabo's trying to say. Dabo's trying to say, look, we had an F year here at Clemson. Okay, do you really want to run me out of town? Because next year, we might not make the playoff, but next year we're going to win 9 games. And then the year after that, look out. That's what he's kind of saying. Do you want to create unreal expectations at Clemson? Go for it, because you'll dig your own grave.
For sure. I do think it's at least interesting that the top 2 recruits from the state of Georgia at Alabama.
Boy, they don't like that.
Nope.
They don't like that.
Nope.
All right, we come back. Closing arguments. We'll call it a day. Let's try to figure out what Danny and Dirt should bet on this game. 503-864-6326. We already know they won't put points on the line. This is just win or lose, baby. Win or lose. Closing arguments is next. 105.1 The Fan.
It's time for Easy Play, brought to you by Home Z, making home improvement easy.
Ollie Patterson, 29-yard attempt for the win from the left hash. It is straight through. The Miami Dolphins win it in Madrid in overtime.
That is NFL Network covering the game at the Bernabeu in Madrid.
It's fitting that a ball is kicked for a win at the Bernabeu.
Did you see the video of how they changed the field into an NFL field?
Yeah, I mean that stadium is nuts. The amount of money they put into that, the way the field retracts and comes up, they have a whole full underground growing facility.
We talked about stadium sizes. That might be the nicest stadium in the world. This Easy Play brought to you by Homesy. Use Homesy's online calculator to estimate your project instantly. Make it easy. Call Homesy. That's HOMZE. Homesy.com.
He's a biracial angel.
We just finished our
All right, that's going to do it for us today. We'll send you on your merry way. Coming up on tomorrow's show, we'll get into a little more NFL, a little more college football, some leftover stuff. Boy, Justin Herbert had a rough day. Chat a little Blazers as well. Free consultation tomorrow at 12:15. That's always a fun one. We'll talk Eagles. We'll talk, I want to ask the big question. Is it time for Sark to give up play calling at Texas? Boy, he was spicy today in the news. Asking him, disappointing season, and he was all like, isn't that disappointing? Who are you? All 3 teams we lost to are top 10 teams. And it's like, yeah, man, you lost to them.
It happened.
You were number 1. Mm-hmm. You are the one. Look into my eyes. You are the captain. So we'll get into that tomorrow. Read some more thoughts on the fan text line. Can't wait to see Feinbaum crash out when less than 10 teams from the SEC make the playoff.
I mean, SEC commissioner getting up there and saying 8 bids for the SEC. It's
Get a joke.
Get bent.
And that's kind of what I was trying to talk about with the Oklahoma win, is that, like, that's a wrap on the SEC, I think.
How so?
In the sense that, like, those are the teams that are going to get in. I don't know if there's any other situation.
I mean, Oklahoma can fall.
Oklahoma could fall, yes. But what I'm telling you, A&M, Georgia, Ole Miss, Bama, and Oklahoma. That's it, man.
That's all it's getting in?
That's all that's getting in.
Yeah.
At most,
yes.
That's all that's getting in. If Oklahoma falls, you're only getting 4.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're a Miami out there, you are praying to sweet, tiny infant baby Jesus that Oklahoma loses. Because that might be
6
your
pound,
only
4
way
ounce.
in. Yeah, still learning your shapes and colors. That might be your only way in. This is what, and that's maybe that's what I meant when I said the college football playoff is set. It's set from an SEC standpoint.
Sure.
We know who's going in.
Because Big Ten, you're looking at Ohio State and Indiana.
I do not expect
Beyond that?
I do not expect Georgia to lose to Georgia Tech. However, if they do,
In-state rivalry, Haynes King's a player. It's certainly spicy.
if they do, there is no better resume team with 2 losses than Georgia to get in.
No.
So they will get in.
But also, how do you look at Georgia Tech then?
Well, I think you got to put them in.
And that's an ACC team.
Yeah. That could be your jump over Oklahoma. That could be the one that spills the apple cart big time. But A&M, they lose, they're still in. Bama loses, they're still in.
Yeah.
Ole Miss ain't going to lose to Samford or whoever they're playing this week, and then to Mississippi State. I mean, rivalry games, anything can happen. But that's what the SEC is telling you.
Bulldogs.
And honestly, when we see the college football playoff rankings tomorrow, I think they're going to tell you that there is only 3 spots in the Big Ten.
I'm very interested to see where they put USC.
I'm very interested as well.
I think they're going to put them at 13.
First team out. First team out.
Not only that, it gives Oregon a better win
Totally.
if they win, and if USC wins, Oregon is where Oregon's
Because
at.
the unofficial thing about those idiots is they're always trying to cover their ass.
Yes.
So they want to make sure that if they say something controversial that they can back it up with something else. Well, yeah, we put Oregon. I mean, they beat number 13 USC, and they were our first team out of the playoff, whether we believe it or not. God, I hate those idiots. I'd like to do that. Casey, what do you think? What do you think Danny and old Dirt Johnson should bet on this SC Oregon game?
Got to shave something.
Oh.
I mean, I'm down.
No
Is Andy
beard.
rocking a beard right now? No, he's not.
No.
Shaved heads?
I mean,
Well, you don't
Wait,
care.
isn't he?
I don't remember. I saw him this morning, too.
Doesn't he always have a beard?
he's a little something.
I don't know. Oh, my gosh. I feel really stupid.
Grizzly Adams did have a beard.
Did he?
Grizzly Adams did have a beard.
I have a beard.
You desperately want face painting.
I wanted more than that. But that's all I could get dirt to go on.
What's more? What's more than face painting?
I mean, I'm always down to shave something.
I want it to be something that I can see in a workplace environment.
Sure.
I don't-
100%.
I don't need any of that stuff.
No.
None of that hanky panky.
I think it needs to look like a Cam Jordan NFL photo.
Ooh, there you go.
I don't know what that means.
Look up Cam Jordan's profile photos for his NFL.
His media day.
Yeah, his media
Yeah.
day photos they're like Jimmy Butler.
Yes.
Every year.
And look, I went full Jimmy Butler last year. Had hair down to my shoulders and
Whoa.
pressed it out.
Oh, I like this one with the curl
Yeah.
and the dreads. Oh, that's 2019. All right.
He always has some fun.
2012. Oh, that's a weird
The flat top.
flat top. 2022.
The one
fro.
where he looks like the wrestler is my favorite.
Those are good.
He has some fun on media day. Love it.
Why not? Why not?
I'm down.
On the YouTube, loser walks into a glass door.
Yeah.
Thank you, Randy. He has a mustache right now. I knew he had
There you
something,
go.
but I
Yeah.
couldn't remember. No, I don't want to shave anything. That's lame.
I mean, we had
Take
Russ.
a run around the block in your birthday suit.
We had Russ lose a shaving bet. He was terrified that we were going to give him a particular German mustache.
No, you can't do that. I can't imagine Rusty without a beard.
We went inverted on him.
You mean the Michael Jordan stash?
Yes.
Dude, I love the little pencil stash.
He was terrified of that happening. He's like, please don't do that to me. But we gave him the inverted instead.
I always wonder what I would look like with a pencil mustache.
What's the you seen the guy
That might be too white for that, though.
we could go Cholo stash.
I don't know if you could say that word on the
you,
air.
You can say that, right? Yeah.
I wouldn't.
I mean,
I wouldn't.
but have you ever seen the video? You got to keep them separated.
Yeah.
And it does the tight little just. That might be a good one.
The Walt Disney mustache.
Yeah, there you go.
Loser gets a Walt Disney
Yeah.
mustache.
You got to go down to a barber. Like it needs to be
Ooh, it's got to be toit.
toit, shaped up.
Toit.
You get
Maybe
that,
you guys should
get
just-
that, get that hard part in the middle.
Maybe you guys should just workshop this all week.
Yeah.
Come to a decision on
Friday,
Friday.
yeah.
Friday at 1 p.m.
I
That's
like
the
it.
deadline.
Yeah.
Make Andy come down here and shake on it at 1 p.m.
There you go.
Make him drive all the way back to the station.
We'll get it in the changeover.
This is good. We need more rivalries like this.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Better not lose.
Loser has to attend the other team's spring game.
Oof.
That's
Well,
more of a punishment for dirt.
No, it's not.
To go down to L.A.?
Oh yeah, it'd be terrible to go to L.A. in March, huh?
Fair,
yeah, it'd be god awful.
Fair.
Meanwhile, I'd be down there just freezing my butt off in Eugene, March, just wet.
Spring game could be a nice day.
I can tell you where it's guaranteed to be a nice day.
It's supposed to be on a Tuesday, and it's a nice day, and Lanning just goes, it's supposed to rain tomorrow. We'll move it to tomorrow.
Yeah.
Didn't it snow last March?
Yeah. Meanwhile, down in L.A., it's 78 degrees.
Is there a freeway exit near your office? Stake out an exit ramp with body paint saying you lost.
Oh, there is that one right there at 405.
Sure is.
But the problem is you got to fight somebody for that spot.
Well, yeah.
There's somebody there every day.
I don't know
Location.
I don't know if you want to fight anybody for that. Closing arguments brought to you by Leskin Law. Visit leskinlaw.com for more information. Leskin Law's one-day divorce mediation, peace treaties, not war plans. Nice little Monday show here. Nice little Monday show.
Good day.
Should we keep this up all week, Danny?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Boy, Monday.
Feeling good.
A week from today, how the world could shift here
Burn
at
it
the
to
Fan
the
Sports
ground.
Network.
Burn it.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Ducks Insider is next. We'll catch you tomorrow. For Danny Morang, Casey Smith on the ones and twos. Thank you, amigo. You're the best. Jeff Rust will be back
you, guys.
tomorrow. I'm Patrick Harris. Go do something I would do.
Bye.